So you guys, for those that may not have a clue of, where you guys come from, how you started your great collections that are always behind you in your videos, let's get into it. Let the guests know what got you into collecting, and can you describe that moment for them?
Well, what got me into it is just really I think the common theme is just movies. Just loving movies and wanting to own and be able to watch what I wanted to watch at any given time.
For me, it started off, my dad worked, when I was in middle school, worked at Blockbuster. So I had access to all the movies I could ever rent. So, I didn't start collecting movies until I was my senior year of high school. And you're talking, that's 2003.
I didn't start collecting movies until 2009, 2010. Now, I was a person that I loved movies, went to the theaters, and, watched tons of movies as a kid, TV shows, things like that. But what got me actually into collecting was two things. One of my friends in school, he had somewhat of a, smaller collection, and I thought it looked cool, just naturally cool. And when I went to FYE, I found out about what FYE is, a store. I went to FYE, and I started seeing old titles that I remember watching back when I was a kid.
How far back I kind of started? It was like 95, 96. Moved to a different side of town, met a guy, started going to his house, and, they had so many VHSs and DVDs lined across the wall. And, I was wild by it. That's what kind of got me into it. I would see it over there all the time, sit over there, watch movies, go to the movie theater with them.
This ain't for you. Don't feel ashamed, don't just jump into this and waste your money just to be the cool kid. If you want to do this, do it at your own pace. And I think everything will fall into place.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Assembled Episode 2, The Decision. We are back once again to give you guys an hour to an hour and a half of live entertainment. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode just as much as you loved episode part 1. So welcome back again. Here we are. I got KLL Daily, Jagoda Blue, and the Ben Buster here.
What's up?
Gang, gang.
What's going on,
gang,
everybody?
gang. What's up? What it is? I'm happy to be here.
You
So
should
am
be,
I,
man.
man.
You
It's
should
going to
be.
be another fun time. So I want to thank all the viewers for being here. I know it's a little early for the streams. We usually go up a little later than this, but we found out this was going to be a good time for the four of us. So you're tuning in live. Thank you for being here. Comment at your own leisure. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank you for clicking the button and giving us a shot.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
So tonight we will be, episode 1 was all about, why we started collecting, the things that we love about collecting. And tonight we want to go a little more inside, YouTube, why we started doing content creating, who inspired us or what inspired us, along with talking about the state of movie theaters. So you guys, are you ready to get into episode 2, The Decision?
Let's get it.
Let's
do this.
All right, and once again, thank you to Movie Hunter for helping us out with this whole 3-part series. So let's get into it, man. So, we're all content creators. We all started at different times. We've talked previously about, some of the YouTubers that we used to really love watching, or that we still watch if they're still around. But we just want to let the viewers know as well, instead of, just talking amongst each other. So you guys, when did you start viewing so-called BlueTube, as we like to call it, and what channels were you most interested in?
So you guys I gotta think about it. I'm gonna just let Ben Buster go. He got all the answers. I'm gonna let him go.
Well, under BlueTuber, quote unquote, I would have to say it was when I started posting videos under the BlueTube category. Because before that, I was actually watching, one of my first forays into YouTube was Jay's 2 Cents, Linus Tech Tips. It was more so the computer side of things, building them, learning about that stuff. Because at that point in time, we're talking late 90s, early 2000s. That's what interested me the most, was that. So it was technically just all that world right there that sparked my interest into YouTube. But the first BlueTuber I would have to say I watched would be when I first got into this world, Plaid X2. I mean, John there, he has a fantastic channel. I also was Netflix his stuff too as well. So it was really not, like I said, about 2 years ago I started in the BlueTube community. So it was one of those things that I didn't really watch anyone until I was into doing that content. So
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say 2000 between 2011 and 2012. I started watching. That's when I started watching like the Blu-ray content and realized that there actually was a bigger community out here. So I know one of the very first YouTubers and probably one of my favorite ones back then was the Blu-ray King. He had an insane collection. So I consistently watched his videos. I used to watch guys like Logan Toxic, the man who rocks it. Um, I got later into, Wet Movie One. I would catch his videos here and there, and then Serial at Midnight. Serial at Midnight. I started catching on his. He still got one of my favorite videos all the time.
Facts.
The top 5 tips for collecting. He's got 2 of them
Yep.
that are just top notch. So from a
Right.
Bluetooth kind of viewing, that's what got me in, and those were the first 2. And then in terms of me actually creating content, to be honest, it was D-Ray's battle, because before the battles, I wasn't on YouTube. And when I started watching the battles, I was like, dang, I want to get into the battles, but I thought that most people that's in the battles already had channels. So it kind of inspired me, like, yo, let me start a channel and kind of show some stuff off. So that's what kind of boosted me forward to actually start actually making a YouTube channel.
Mm. Sound all good. Sound all good. For me, oh, man, I actually started in the smaller communities when I started watching. Well, let me take that back, because I first came to this community and I remember seeing Cool Duder, and Wet Movie One, and I seen them around, and you click them, but at the time I just thought they were the only ones, and so I really wasn't in it, and this is years ago, but maybe about 4 years ago, I just started 4 maybe 5 years ago. I just started watching people, and the first people I was watching was smaller channels, like a lot of people that was in the Dollar Tree community picking up movies for, because that's always intrigued me, like a bargain. So buying stuff for cheap. So that really bring there. So watching people's videos, seeing what was coming, what people was picking up, and that was my way of knowing what was there, if it was
mhm.
worth going out and checking it. So that was my introduction, and so I was watching people like Miranda and a guy named James Empire over there, and just a lot of cool people that came and went. Some stayed, some didn't. Some were just in it for that. And then expanded more and started seeing a guy named Films at Home. Start seeing his 4K reviews, and I was watching for his 4K reviews, and it was funny because I remember him when he first started. He was doing he was totally different. He was doing more sound quality. So I was like, oh wow, I remember this guy. He's doing 4K. He's doing if it's worth purchasing the 4K. So I started checking him out a little bit. But the guy that really got me into it was same as Dakota, Serial Midnight. I was watching his videos all the time, and that, like Dakota says, he has like 2 videos, but there's this one about, is physical media dead? And that, I don't know why, but that video inspired me to be like, hell yeah, this community is like, this is the shit. And also too, like, I want to start, I just want to participate, because I was watching a lot of people. There's so many names I was watching, but I wasn't really like interacting as much, just watching, might leave a comment here and there. So, and then I start getting more interactive, and then people start encouraging me. And then I ran into Ken, Mid-Level Media. And then after that, following him over to follow him. I don't know if I met Pladex through him or met Pladex first, but seeing Pladex, and then I followed him over there and I met D-Ray. And I'm like, what's this battle thing? And the battle thing, in my opinion, was like, it was like wrestling as a kid, Thursday Night SmackDown. Like, you just had to be there, and it was everything. It made the community fresh. It was like our convention, like a convention we all came to and we all got together. And so that's my long drawn out story, but there's so many names, and I hate to leave some of them out. And you know who you are. Some of you inspired me. Definitely like Serial Midnight, Miranda, and people that gave me encouragement along the way to do it. But that's my start.
Yeah, sounds like we got some of the same similar channels that we really, got jump started us. I'm quite the same way. Logan Toxic, Brass Tacks, Spare Change, Not Your Average Consumer. Those are the guys that I used to watch before I even started. I wouldn't say they the exact ones that got me started because it was mostly a friend of mine. He's over in sneaker YouTube, and he had been doing it for a while. I was very shy, didn't talk a lot. So I was like, I kind of want to do it. I'm on the fence. And then he just finally convinced me to just go ahead and give it a shot. So I started off with a little bit of a different content. And to me, I couldn't pull it together. So I had to think of, okay, what's another hobby that you have that you really love? So I came with the movies because I was like, well, I'm watching this movie content. Let me give it a shot. So I gave it a shot. Here I am. Thank you to you guys for saying the battles because, those are very important. That was a point in time where I was ready to really give up content creating, but decided to keep going thanks to a couple of people. I know some people get mad when I bring up the name, so I won't bring up the name, but one of them was Mid-Level Media. Watching their streams on, well, I think it was like Sunday nights or something, especially during COVID time and when we was locked down, they watching them live stream, I knew that's kind of what I wanted to do was live streaming aspect. So then I finally thought about the battles and brought them, and it kind of blew from there. So I enjoyed that time. It was great. Seeing people like Go to Blue come into the chat, then create his own channel, connecting super early in the morning with KLL Daily, getting Ben Buster up there tons of times, and a lot of people in the chat as well who jump started their channels off the battles as well. So definitely appreciate that. So I'm glad that, I could be inspired by others, and then I can also turn around and inspire others to do the same type of content creating. So yeah, I mean, that's the beginning for me, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of channels like after like some of the ones that we named, there was a lot of ones that you start finding out and they do something a little different, some internationals, and you're like, oh shoot. And then it snowballs into like adding different types of things to your collection. But it was fun.
Yeah.
I would never change it the way I started. It was just perfect.
Yeah, and there's so many. In a way, I hate this question because I know there's so many people that, it's a brick road, right? And so many people put those bricks in, even if they don't know that they put bricks into our path, and we might forget a name here and there, but there were so many people and that played a part. And whether big, small, they inspired me, especially the small people. You would think the bigger people inspire you, but I connected with a lot of you smaller people or people that are big now, but you were smaller back then, and you were more personable. And some of you have never lost that, and that also goes a long way. And trust me, us as people, we don't forget that stuff. We really don't. And so you've helped everybody small, that I've come past or big that I've come past have helped shape my way of looking at things and doing things here. And I'm happy to be here. And even to the ones that's not here anymore, thanks. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's quite the adventure. I've had a lot of fun doing it. I'm quite sure you guys have too. It's full of its ups and downs. I always wondered, like, I think Jagoda's mentioned this as well before, that it seems like a lot of these guys, especially the ones we've named, they're here and then all of a sudden they kind of just disappear. And over time, as you're creating this content, you're seeing your analytics and stuff. It is very like humbling, and you start, second guessing yourself or whether you should still be doing this. You might take breaks here and there and things like that. But ultimately, I think, the four of us up here, we felt pretty good about the content we've created, the ways we've inspired people, especially when you see, you might come up with an idea or something and then it spawns on somebody else's channel, or, people want to be a part of something that you've created, or people are messaging you saying, hey man, I love that. When you going to do it again? So it's a lot of fun, and you should just try to stay humble through it all, never change who you are. Always be true to your audience.
Facts.
That's really good. And you guys, you picked me up, guys, for real. My meeting all of you were different. I met Ben. I mean, you guys provide a spark and an inspiration for me. A lot of other people in the community, and it's just sometimes you guys don't realize you do it, but you do. So that's why I say I appreciate you, because there's just little things about you, like, and just sometimes it's not even about the media. Like when you start meeting people other conversations become a part of it. And I think that builds on top of it, so it becomes a little bit more than media. That's Ben's tagline. It's more than movies. So, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. So there are some fun times with it. You know, creating content can be very difficult, especially when you first start venturing out in stores and doing like your pickup hauls and things like that. I know some people don't do it because they're still afraid to get out there with that camera and start talking to themselves. They know people are going to be looking at them crazy. But, you know, those are some of the best videos that I know most people really love watching. So that leads us into our next question. You know, what is your favorite type of Bluetooth content to consume? You know, your pickup videos, the haul videos, your room tours, reviews, or etc.
It all depends on what type of content they're doing. Like, let's take Tim Talks Talkies, for example. If he was doing just statues, that would be great. I mean, that's a different type of content there because he's going through, oh, these are my statues. These are what I collect. Kind of like Jagoda did, how he did his couple videos on his Bane statues or his one clicks. I don't know about one click. So seeing stuff like that is awesome to me. Most of the time, though, I love seeing where people go to find deals on movies. Rather, then they get to searching, oh, do I have one of these? Do I have a second Charles near me? Do I have a disc replay? Do I have a book off? Do I have these things? That gives me to research and be like, okay, this is here. Okay, I will have to plan a day out in order to go there, but okay, so it kind of spawns and it kind of gets the wheels turning in the head as to where to go to try and find some of these deals as well.
Yeah, I definitely love room tours. Like, I love to see collections. I love to see like the size of the collections. I love to see how people organize it. And then usually a lot of times in people's, you know, room tour or wherever they have their collection, they tend to have other secondary collections in there. So sometimes you can kind of see what else they're collecting if it's, you know, in it. Pickup videos, fun because you get to see kind of what's coming out. And I know another type of video that I like, they're like these videos that talks about either how you enjoy collecting or some of the funny like struggles of collecting. Like, to go back to like the Blu-ray King, he had made a video of some of the annoying things of collecting, like, you know, stickers on your slipcover and you know, scratched spines. Like, it's funny because like it's very specific to us collectors that's in the movie community, and we'll look at that, we'll laugh because we've been through it. An average person that doesn't collect is like, I don't even know what this person's talking about. So yeah, I just like seeing videos of people that's appreciating their collection and kind of showing it off, and you kind of get to see a bunch of different types of media within a collection.
For me, I guess in my opinion, the cliche answer is the right answer, and it's awe. Because people, and you know, let's be honest, burnout is real. No matter who you are, or what you're doing, burnout is real. So like, if we watch all of one thing, even if we like it, it's like your favorite song. If you play my favorite song 100 times, it's still one of my favorite songs, but I'm tired of it now. You know, so it's just, I like to see the variety of everything. When you guys are being creative and you come up with something new and it hits, and it's really good because it switches it up. It makes this stuff more refreshing. 100 haul videos, even though I like them, it's daunting. It can be, you know. Or you might just have to take a break, and I might catch your video a little bit later. But like, when you watch 5 in a row, or if you can make it to 10 in a row, and then you got 20 more to go, and it's the same type of video, you know, like for instance, the Tuesday video, when the people that do have the courage to go into Best Buy every Tuesday, and when you watch 10 of you guys, because you know, I'm sure there's more than that, but if I was to watch all of you guys, just imagine, you know. So it's good to have the variety because that keeps it all fresh. And if I had to pick though, what do I favor more? I love the shout out to Mr. Nichols. I love his swap meet videos because you never know what he's going to find. It could be something new. He finds it for a couple bucks. It could be something old. One time he found a bunch of Screen Factories for Solo, and the variety and just the surprise of what he gets. And the same for anybody that does Goodwill hauls or anything. When you guys go in for Tuesday, especially if I follow you, I know what you're going in there for more than likely, or I can pretty much guess either way. But when you guys go to Goodwills, when you guys go to thrift stores or a special store that only you might have in your region or city or a swap meet, I don't know. And that makes it, I think that makes a payoff like so much more rewarding. So I do love those people that, not all of us have that. Some of us have just Best Buys if you're lucky to have that. But so I do understand that. But I just like, I like the not knowing. Those videos are really cool. I know room tours seem like full collection and room tours. Everybody knows like in the community that seems to do the best. But honestly, for me, I those are the last thing I watch because at the end of the day, guys, if I'm watching you or I'm following for you. It's your personality, it's who you are, it's how you connect with me and others. So I probably have almost everything you have, or if not, I can get it. So it's not worth me just going through watching a 3-hour video of your whole collection. It's like I probably have 90% of your collection. But
Mm.
if it's depending on who it is that's doing it, then that makes it worthwhile. But I rather see you go out and do this and you go out and do that, or you collab with other people. Just my preference. That's just how I've always been. Those videos are long, guys. Those 3-hour videos, but they're still dope though.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. That's one of my things too. I seen a lot of people in the chat also saying the same thing that, they just love those videos where people are going out to either thrift stores or, flea markets and things like that, because you get a lot of different things in the video. So that's what I really enjoy. There ain't but so many times I can I can go in Best Buy and then watch 10 other people also go in Best Buy, and we just see the same thing that's on the shelf. So that does get a little redundant and boring. So usually that's not my favorite type of video. If I really had to pick one, it'd be more of those type of videos where it's, secondhand shops and things like that, because I don't have them in my area. So a lot of times I end up, really looking close at the screen to see what they got in store and just being like, man, I wish I was there. I grabbed this. And, it's a little bit, engaged. I get a little more engaged with those type of videos. I mean, other than that, I do like seeing the complete collection videos at times, but sometimes they can be a bit long. And I know that's why most people try to do them at least only maybe once a year. Room tours are cool too. Even though I'm not as much into the collectibles and things like that, I do still like to see them from time to time.
Right.
And then let's see, reviews. Reviews are really, really big. Of course, at the end of the day, when it comes to reviews, try to, form your own opinion at the end of the day. That's just one person's opinion. All our eyes are different. We have different 4K players. We have different TVs, different settings. So each person's viewing experience is going to be a little bit different. And then if you really love the movie, you're a bit more engrossed into it. So, your review may be a little more biased because you really love the movie. So try to form your own opinion off of it. But I love watching them and getting a little gauge of, kind of what other people think of it. And it shows me that you're a little more engrossed into it as well, because you're not just grabbing it just for the packaging, the artwork and things like that. There's a movie you really love and you trying to, push it out to other people who may be on the fence about it. So those are the type of movies that I like, things that I like as far as other people's content creating. Me personally, making videos, sometimes I do love going out to Best Buy. It is fun, but it does get a little old because, like I said, you see the same stuff from week to week. There's nothing new coming out other than Tuesday's new release. You're not just going to randomly go there and find the Rambo Steelbook collection just sitting on the shelf. It's not going to happen. So, I do like making those videos from time to time, but they do get a little bit boring.
I would say too, one characteristic of videos that I don't know for some reason catches me is like, and it's primarily when there's like the pickups and people going to Best Buy and Target. D-Ray, you do this. I know Alex Thomas does it. Blu-ray can. A couple people do it. It's like while you're kind of filming and showing like what the store has, like there's music playing in the background. I know a lot of people may not like that, but that subtle add to the video for me personally, very catchy. Very catchy. I actually was looking at Alex's video yesterday, I think. And I saw somebody wrote something about, I guess someone that said something about like sound being too loud, something. But I was like, to me, it flows. It goes great when you pick a good sound, and while you're filming and you're just showing it, and there's no like you're not speaking. It's like that music's playing. That I don't know, for some reason that's always
It ties it
a
in.
thing for me
It's
in
like it
videos.
kills
Yeah,
dead space and everything. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely I do like putting music in. Sometimes I try not to because I know there is that little bit of audience that doesn't really like it. So I try to put it down as low as I possibly can, but most of the time you can still kind of hear it. But I also be feeling like when I watch it and I watch it without music, it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
I'm into it as much. But if I
Hmm.
do add that little tone, little score into the background, it helps bring you in just a
Mhm.
little bit more.
Yeah.
Personally, I would love to add music in. It's a scary thing. Like if you really care about getting flagged, it can be a scary thing to add music in. Even no matter even if it says free, because everybody will come past something they got the free music from somewhere and they still get bit in the ass about it. But I just wish we can put the music we really want, because like Ben might be in a Walmart and he might be going for I don't know, like his Walmart Wednesday, he might be going for a DC thing, and he might want to add a DC theme to that video because it's primarily DC theme because that's what he's going to the Walmart for, and he'll get flagged for doing that. And it's just, I wish if we were able to do that, I think it would just blow. So much creativity would come in because I love music, guys. I love music scores. I don't know, a lot of people know, but I buy tons of music scores, so of movies. So it's just I would love to incorporate them, but you guys know that's just so tough, and it makes it hard to be creative, and it stifles creation sometimes. It makes you not even really put your all into it sometimes if you love music as much as I do, because I would love to combine the two, but it's really challenging. There's that. But I don't know, man. Music really can tie that stuff in, and there's a lot of things people do. Like people have great editing skills. Durant has, like, he knows how to edit. He cuts. He's very entertaining. And Alex, when what it is when he comes on. So like even you guys, Ben, you know what it is when he comes on. D-Ray, I don't know if y'all caught D-Ray's humor when he comes on. Like when he first intros his stuff, it's different. Even I intro my stuff different, and it's so cool. Mel has a joke, and it's just everybody delivers their personalities, and I love to see that effort because we're getting off more. Because at the end of the day, guys, if you keep showing us your movies, that's great, and it is primarily the movie community. But when we get a piece of you, that makes us continue the journey with you. That makes
Oh, you
sense.
left me out, Cal. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like I was saying, Dakota, it is your like little light, and then the like jazzy flow to your music that you have
Yeah,
on your title sequence. So
His delivery, Ben, he talks to us like he's a disappointed school teacher. He sits down and says,
right.
"Okay."
Yeah.
He gets up on the
Right.
screen. He's looking deep into, like, he feels like he's looking into your eyes, and he's giving you his five or whatever he's
I
trying to
gotta do
give you
this
that day.
again.
Yeah, he's so disappointed in you, but he has like you have all this promise, so I'm trying to help you. Like that's how his videos are. I wish they would come back, but
Facts.
you know.
Yeah, and
2024,
that's
yeah.
like you said, the editing thing, we can talk about that real quick because that, like Dale said, it is very daunting. And one of the first things you really got to get used to when you're creating content is hearing your own voice. So
hmm
it's a lot different when you start playing back your own voice and you hear it, you're just like, oh my gosh. So that is very hard. And like you said, the editing, trying to learn when to cut things. I know some people don't edit at all. I know movies with Ryan, he says he just records and doesn't edit. So it can be very time consuming to, create all this content.
hmm
You got to take the time to get to the store, record the video, come back, edit it, and then post it. And if you're trying to post it in 4K, it's going to take forever. So that's very difficult to do. So it is very time consuming. And sometimes it might feel like, when you look at your views, it may not have been worth that time. So that leads me into my next question that I had, which, it has changed up a little bit because it kind of dealt with what the first question is. So I changed it up because conversation kind of went towards this a little bit. So, let's talk about our YouTube analytics. Do you guys check your analytics? And when you see that it may not be exactly what you expected, does it change the outlook on how you create your content?
So I'll be, because I'm the least, I'm the most removed. When I was doing content, I would check the views here and there. Like I didn't go too deep into like the watch time, and I just kind of looked at, okay, the views. And I think just like with any content creator, sometimes you put out a video, you say, "Oh, this is a good one," like, and then you put out another video, you're like, "Oh, it's okay," and somehow that okay video in your mind got way more views than the one you thought was really good. But I never allowed the analytics to dictate like me wanting to stop or not, simply because like I enjoy it. And at the end of the day, even if you have 10, 20, 30 views, like there's people out here that's enjoying your content, and I feel like this YouTube thing is not like an overnight thing on average. Like, you got to kind of continue to put in the work. People get used to who you are, your content, and it just picks up if it does. But at the end of the day, it's more so just kind of being a part of the community, having fun, showing off what you picked up, and the analytics are the analytics. Like, I honestly think that if everyone cared about the analytics a lot of people would have left. And then a lot of the people that we talked about early on who had a bunch of subscribers, who had a bunch of views, they stopped. So you got to find that passion outside of the analytics, to me, and just keep going until you potentially don't have that passion anymore to collect. Not even so much to do YouTube content, but I think it should just be dependent on your passion for the actual collecting that you're doing.
It seems that the YouTube analytics are going more so the live streaming side of things than it is actual video anymore, any uploads. Because if you notice, like most live streams that you do are getting hundreds of views. They're rewatchable, like they're just being rewatched over and over again. Or whereas you because trust me, I've seen it where I'm involved with something outside of the BlueTube community where I post a video, I do a live, I'm getting more views on that live than I am in my regular videos. So I can see where YouTube's coming from the live category, that you have to have all these lives. You have to start doing lives in order to garner that traction, in order for YouTube to see you in that algorithm. Because it's not like it used to be back in the day where it's like, oh, you have to be consistently doing a video every week or consistently doing a video. It's like the more you live stream, the more YouTube is going to see you in the analytics.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The live stream, it's a lot easier to just go ahead and live stream. Then you ain't got to worry about the editing and things like that.
Yes,
and
that
people,
too.
If they missed it, I don't know how well it does with getting the replay versus somebody just seeing a regular video, because usually live streams are very long. And I know a lot of people sometimes don't want to sit through a whole live stream and just listen through it, unless they're usually doing something, they're at work or something, they want some background noise, then they're more keen to doing it. But
it also depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
A battle is rewatchable because it's just a thing of rounds and certain things. A hangout, depending on what the night was, the mood was, that's could be hit or miss. But I mean, everybody's different. Everybody finds different value in different things. So, while we think this way, they might think that way. So I can't give a definite answer to that. But what I can tell you guys is that YouTube for certain favors live streams. In my feed, I get live streams from people I don't know from Adam. I don't know them at all. And they're doing stuff that I'm not interested in, that I've never clicked on, but somehow they're getting suggested to me. You guys don't even know them. It's just like, it's so far left what they're talking about, but it's a live stream and they pop up. So they have prioritized live streams, and that's the thing. And live streams, let's be honest, guys, we all know everybody does live streams. They're cheap. Like if you're trying to get to them watch hours, you're trying to get them views, especially if you bring in a lot of people on your panel, you're bringing everybody, everybody's going to come for those 5, 10, whatever people, opposed to just one, especially if the topic is good. So it's a cheap way to get views, and I'm not knocking that. I mean, those that do it, that's cool. But I do miss you guys going, and I mean this to the whole community when I say this, I miss more videos. And I know there's still videos, people are still making videos, but it seems like it's all lives. And the lives, they're cool, they're hangouts, and we got to meet each other, and there's great incentives to that. But at the same time, I got to see you guys' creativity in your videos. I got to see more of your personality. You do know when you're on this screen with 10 people, you have to share the room, so you don't see as much of you, and then you guys are all of you guys, and everybody. You just become more creative when you have to do things on your own or do things just a video opposed to a live. And I mean, I know it's easier and it's cool and it's fun. It definitely is fun. That is the main reason people do it. But I think a lot of people are doing themselves a disservice by just going live after live and, forgetting about their videos, because it feels like, okay, you're a group, you're a team. This is a collective channel now. It's not, because I've seen 10 lives from your channel and I've seen one video in the middle of that. So it's almost like you're losing something in the midst of always doing lives. So it's pick your poison, guys. It's all good, it's all fun, but you guys remember where you started. Most of everybody here that's been here longer than a year have started making videos first. And remember, we caught on to each other through making videos. So don't forget to keep that in mind when you're going live 20 times. Try to work in some videos, guys. And and also too, one more thing I'll say. The live feels, everybody has to go live, and it feels that it became a competition, and it's so hard. It's and it's not even that, even if you're not trying to go live, it's how do I be 20 places at one time? And like we just said, all lives aren't like rewatchable. They're the moment. You have to be there to feel the true experience when they're happening. So you miss a lot, when you guys are all going live at the same time. So, it kind of hurts in a way, that I don't get to see you guys as much, because it feels everybody wants to be live at the same time. So,
and with scheduling too, like jobs, people's jobs, they can't see that live.
Yeah.
Right.
Just get it live at that same time. So a recorded video on a topic, they can easily just plug it in, and unless you're showing something, can listen to it as a podcast. I know I've done that before. Unless you're showing me something on the screen the whole time, it's listening to it the whole time when I'm driving to and from work.
Yeah.
Facts.
I know one thing I miss, man. I miss the IG lives. Now, I know that there's a different, to me, there was a different feel between the IG lives and the YouTube lives.
It is.
Partially because, too, with the IG live, it wasn't subsequently posted. So you kind of had to be there to be in there and kind of enjoy it. Whereas with the YouTube, it's obviously going to go up on the person's page. And so there was like this random feel of like, all right, someone went live now, depending on the time, everyone's jumping in. You have no idea what the topic is, because it's just random. Everything is random, essentially.
It's like hanging out
up in there. The 4 people that got up in there just start talking. Somebody drops out the next person. You got the people in the chat talking. Like, to me, I enjoyed that randomness of the IG lives. And I don't know if my memory can serve me, but I don't know if 2022 and 2021 were we experiencing this many YouTube lives. And if we weren't, like, is there a new influx in YouTube lives because the IG lives have now kind of died away, and so now it's like, well, this is like the new spot.
We weren't.
YouTube, IG lives, man. IG lives is where it was at.
I definitely agree with that. I didn't even think about that right now, but they were a lot of fun because of that pop in, pop out, and then you had people waiting, and they would message, be like, "Nah, I'm up next. I'm next. Let me up. You had all that going on. So it was a lot of fun. I'm not going to deny that. And, like you said, it happened at a time where a lot of people were sitting at home. We didn't have much going on. So it was even more time that you got to connect with each other, build a bond with each other, and just have a good time just randomly throughout the day. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good time. I definitely miss it. I do. A lot of funny stuff happened. I wish we still had all that stuff recorded. I know a lot of
us met through that way. Like, and even if we didn't meet that way, that's how we became like closer and, like bonded with each other, because those lives. So yeah, you're right, Jacoda. That's another thing that's missing, and it's a big change. And when you say they just happen, because they were so spontaneous, and that was a great thing, because you never know, or you might be free at that moment. So it wasn't like, all right, let me schedule this out for the next Tuesday of the 3rd month. And, it's like a whole thing. You got to wait and be free for that. It was, if you're free, jump up if there's a free spot. And that was just, and it's 4 people. So it's like when we used to play video games and somebody say, I got next. It was just like that. Whoever got KO'd, they were up next. So that was great.
Yeah, and then you gotta think sometimes Instagram was crazy. So some people might only get that hour to stream, and we don't went over the hour. They start seeing the tick down like, hey, it's about to end, So we heard him be like, all right, who's gonna hit the live button next? So we can keep this thing going.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun, man. I definitely miss it. But to go back to the question that was on the board at the time about the analytics, man, I definitely play it definitely plays a big part with me a lot of times, man. I really get caught up in it with it. It's kind of why I slowed down recently, to be honest. I kind of got tired of doing just the solo videos and just the same old thing that everybody else was doing, pick up videos on Tuesday. But like Cal said, when I started doing the different intros, that was to try to, I would check the analytics and people weren't watching the video for long. So I was trying to figure out, okay, how do I catch them in the first 5 to 10 seconds? Let me try to find the funniest clip out of my previous video, or let me make sure I say something funny in this video. So on the next video, I can clip that and place it as the intro. So I was playing that little game trying to catch the analytics because I started paying a lot more attention to it than what I was doing before. So it does play out. It played a big part in me creating content because I'm still buying stuff. I haven't been to Best Buy in quite some time. Most of my stuff is coming from Target, Mercari, eBay. So I'm still getting stuff in. I just don't have the passion to create the content on it because there's 10 to 20 other people that are doing the same type of content. Then I'm spending the time to create it also, but I'm only getting 200 to 300 views. But then my battles are getting, anywhere of upwards of 600 to 1,000. So it's like, I want to take this. I want to put that effort into the battles more than I want to do it with this solo content because I'm not seeing the output from it. But I did have fun doing those intros. So I like it. I'm glad you called it, Cal.
This goes back into the live stream aspect of this question too, is that when you drop out of a YouTube live stream and come back, that's another view. It's not the same view you had. Say you had 10 people watching it. One drops off. It says 9, but you're already at 10 views. So when that guy pops in, now that's 11. So that's the way YouTube does their lives, where it's like each time you drop out, oh, that's a new view. And then people, because of busyness or getting a phone call or something, have to drop out of that chat, and then they come back in, oh, look, there's another view and another view and another view.
That's nice. Hey, I didn't know that, Ben. So now, you telling people that what's going to happen is 30 people is going to just drop out and they're going to keep coming back and forth.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing
cool.
with YouTube, man. Those views are skewed sometimes. You know what I mean? So it's like,
So yeah, I mean, Cal said it earlier. A lot of people do the lives to get their watch time up. That was part of how I ended up getting monetized. I found out. I heard some people say when I was watching sneaker YouTube, they was like, just go live, and then when you're not in your account or you're at somebody else's house or just anything like that, play your videos. Just let it play randomly. Just leave it on, letting it play. That's watch time for you. So that's what I started doing, and that's what part of what got me monetized.
Damn, man, y'all really y'all hot today. You talking about letting the videos play? Dakota up here promoting Instagram lives over YouTube streams. It's y'all gonna get us canceled, boy.
Hey, I'm just saying, listen, this is what it is.
Part 3 canceled.
Oh my god, yeah, YouTube gonna be like, no, what are y'all doing?
Facts. Everybody drop out or come back. Nah.
But I see Dale saying, Dale comment, I never do Tuesday haul videos. Way too many of you guys are already doing it. Yeah. Dale, that's how I felt too. But you know what? A lot of people hit me up and they was like, I want to see yours. So when it comes in like that, it hits a little bit different. And it was the same way with me. I dabbled in reviews for a little bit. I wanted to stay away from it because I didn't feel like I had the top-notch equipment to be reviewing a movie. So I didn't want to do it. But so many people kept saying, hey, do reviews, that I finally gave it a try. I started doing video reviews. I started doing letterbox reviews. because there's still that little bit of audience that really wants your opinion. They really love your channel. And Dell, I'm sure you know who those people are that are always there for your content. Well, we all got them. So, every now and then, if you can feed those few people, that goes a lot further than, trying to make content for people who are just there every now and then.
Right. That's very true, man. Very true. See, and you know what? That's a very good compliment, because that goes back to what I said earlier. When, all right, if there's 20 of us doing all the same exact thing, we're going to a spot that has 95% of the same stuff, and you say, all right, I'm done, and they say, oh no, we want your video. So that's a real compliment to you, because they're following it for you, your personality, what you bring to it, because it's the same movie. We all bought the Flash, we all bought the Chuckies, but what did you bring to it different that they have to see? And that's a real compliment. And that's why I be telling you guys, like, it's all about you, not so much the material, so.
Yeah, definitely is. I mean, like Cal said, it's a great way to just bring out who you truly are. Because even with me, I'm sitting here hosting, it's hard for me to get out of that hosting mindset and do more talking that I want to do, because I'm trying to, deal with the screen, look at the comments, put them up on the screen and things like that. So I can't really engage quite like I want to, because I'm in host mode. So anytime I can get a chance, people don't ask me very often to come on their channel. I don't really know why. People try to, kind of maybe give me some reasons why they think people don't really ask me, but they don't. But I do not mind coming on people's channel. It gives me a chance to sit back and just relax and talk and have a good time. But it just doesn't happen. So it is what it is. I love hosting as well. I think I do a pretty good job of it. People say I'm pretty good at it. So, I enjoy both sides of it, but every now and then I would like to be on the other side of it.
Look at the ball.
Community, y'all scared? Y'all scared to let D-Ray come on y'all thing? What's wrong with y'all? Let's get him on it.
Well, Jakota, we don't be seeing you much either, though. So they scared of you too? I ain't seen you much anywhere. Where you been?
The way my internet is set up.
Hey, Culture Trinity, Jakota want to battle you. Steelbook battle. Let's go.
People buy steelbooks every day, B. You be all right.
Yeah.
All right. So to further this questions about content creating, we're talking about, the things that we do now with our channel. Do you guys ever, I went back from time to time to look at my old videos and, really watch how cringy it can be when you first started. Where would you say content creating is now versus when you started, whether that's, the type of content you was creating, your editing skills or anything like that versus right now?
Oh, okay. Y'all want to go first? You want me?
You mean with our own stuff or in general?
Yeah, it can be mostly with your own stuff.
Oh man, I went back actually looked at some of my old stuff. Listen, first off, the speed in which I was talking, I felt was a little, and like Cal said, I sounded like a substitute teacher or the dry eyes guy. But overall though, I like the content and what I did. It's just like more like cosmetic things of what I would like to change up, maybe the sound. Things of that nature, but it's just kind of taking it a little bit slower, but then obviously not too slow because long videos don't get so much love. But I think it's very good. I think it's important, especially if you're gonna continue to make content, to go back and kind of look at your old things and kind of see how you can change it up. I mean, it's the same way as even if you do even if you look at your old Instagram pictures to see, like I looked at my old Instagram pictures and the angles I did, and I'm like, that was trash. Like, you kind of, with anything that you do, always look at your content and find ways of how you can kind of, change it up a bit. But, and then Cal told me my old videos look trash too. So,
I never said that, yo. Don't do that in front of people.
Shout out to my bro, Cal.
But look, real quick, D-Ray, bring up Jakota real quick in the solo mode. Bring him up real quick.
In the solo mode.
Go ahead. Don't be scared. Look at the bull. Now, you are a substitute teacher. Look at that collar, bro. There ain't no tie going on. You are a teacher. Be proud of who you are. We know you talk like that for a reason. So you got to have some pride. Yeah. I mean, you got the vest on and everything, man. So, Hey, I don't know what kind of teacher you are, because with all them one clicks you buy, it must be good money.
You see what
But
I gotta go through with Cal? That's why I dropped off.
no, 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 no.
Too much
He
pressure.
lies to y'all
I'm
people.
joking. I'm joking.
But all right, mine's first. This versus that. I think. I don't know. I, do I qualify for this question? I haven't put out that much to like be like, oh, let me look. I mean, the first video. I appreciate everybody's beginner work. Sometimes your beginner work helps you out more because you go back and see your beginner work, and then sometimes you need that, and you be like, all right, what did I used to do? Now I'm gonna go back and do that again, but I'm gonna just do it better. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's how I look at it. So the beginner work doesn't bother me as much. Yeah, there's flaws. There's always gonna be flaws. There's flaws in what you guys do now, but you're gonna make those better and build on them. But I don't know. I don't have a problem with the old work as much. But then again, I haven't done 100 videos like some of you guys, so maybe I'm just not qualified to say that. But speaking of things I have done beyond YouTube, and I go back and look at the older stuff, I'm proud of it because even if it's not as good, it shows the growth. So I like it.
Yeah. I see. It's not necessarily with my content because I like Jagoda said, I could go back and see my old stuff and be like, oh yeah, this is what I did here. Oh, I could have done that better. But like Cal said, I am also coming from an outside of YouTube standpoint where, as of right now,
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of video work for a nonprofit organization. I'm the media director at my church. So I'm like into this world a lot more than I was doing videos when I first began. So I can see going back to my old stuff, even old stuff that I've done for that nonprofit organization, and see what I'm doing now, and seeing the increase or the betterness, if I really want to say that, the expectations that I have on myself now. It's like, okay, I have to improve this better by one notch, by at least 5% this next video when I do that. If I do that and they're like, whoa, that was cool, to me that's a win. It's like every day you have to better yourself by 1%. And if you better yourself by 1% each day, you're a better person than the day you were before. So
Ooh, you just schooled Jacoda, yo. Jacoda, where'd he get his lesson plan from? So he schooled you. Don't let him do you like that.
see, Jagoda's a substitute teacher. I'm an actual teacher.
Ooh. See, I like that
Y'all see
smoke.
what I deal with,
See,
man?
yeah.
I'ma just
See.
stay away. You see?
You gonna cry in the car?
I'm already in the class. I just may cry.
Yeah. Go ahead. It's all right. Hold up. Turn your camera off. I'll give you a minute.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's all good.
But no, man. Yeah, like for me, it's going back looking. I knew some of the mistakes that I was making. Like Jagoda said, how when I first started, even when I first started putting music into my videos, I would even put different like quick little 3-second movie clips that coincide with what I'm saying. Like if I was like, I'm tripping, I would have the video of Mr. McDowell tripping going up the steps when he's going to answer the doors. But a lot of times, the editing thing that I had, it didn't allow me to like cut that music or turn that music down during that clip. So you would still hear the music along with the clip. So it was little editing things like that just didn't fit. And, it just didn't look good for the channel. So, things like that, going back watching it is just like, oh, what was I doing? Why did I not, because a lot of times I wouldn't go back and watch the video after I finish editing it. I'll just put it out. I didn't want to hear my voice. I didn't want to see the mistakes and stuff like that. I just didn't watch it. I'll just go ahead and put it out. So, I wish I'd have took more time and really invested a little more money into the channel early on so I could have got that stuff right. But, going back watching it's a little bit more humbling, especially because you guys know sometimes it's hard to get at least your first 500, your first 1,000. So once you hit that mark and then you go back and see some of those errors that you was making, it helps you realize that, people didn't really care about that. They still loved your content. They just wanted to hear you or see you on camera, because there was something different about you than the other people that they were watching. So, you know, I still value those old videos. I'll never go back and be like, you know what, they were bad, let me delete them or anything like that. So, you know, it's
Yeah.
good to still have that and, you know, go back and check it out.
They made
And
you who
I
you
think,
were.
Exactly.
yeah. And funny, something specific to me, at least right now, is that I don't have my collection up. So when I go look back at my old, I'm like, oh, shoot, I have that. Like, you know, right now, there's some stuff I forgot I had. And then I'll like go on my Instagram and look at an old picture and be like, oh, I do have that. So on that side, there's like this exciting thing of like, remember, like, oh, shoot, that's somewhere. It's somewhere.
See,
Yeah.
you know he
Right.
got that money,
It's
man.
fun.
He don't even know what he buying. He got money. That's what's up, man.
Well,
Nah.
and
What's up?
even now, editing softwares, even on our phones to edit mobile video, has improved a lot over the last couple of years. To where you can still, like D-Ray was saying, now they have on mobile video editors. When you do the sound, you can actually cut it, and you can actually narrow it down more so than you could have like maybe last year or even maybe a few months ago, because these apps are always updated. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I use iMovies for all my videos. It was easy in a sense of just adding the intro first, then adding the video. Like the
yeah,
only annoying thing if you use iMovies is when you need to crop where you want to start your video. Like, and maybe I was doing this the slow way, but I was trying to drag it, and sometimes if it's at the end to grab that little bar and move it over is a little annoying. But for the most
Mhm.
part, it was pretty easy. But I'm sure there was like other probably programs out there that made it, you know, 10 times easier with better editing
So I got a question
capacity
inside
for it.
this question. How do you guys feel when you evolve? You might evolve and be beyond doing some of the things you used to do, or you could do it better, or you do it a different way. But your audience likes, or the people you mess with, they like what you do. They like it, and you think you can do better, but they still want you to stay in that pocket. So how do you handle that? Do you just do it? Do you move on, or do you just purposely stay there because they want you to stay there? Like, I think that's a hard thing to figure out because they may like something. You know how you said, Jacoda said earlier, I put all in this one video and it did okay, but I just did this video real quick and it did really well. Now they might like that type of style and it's a video you didn't even really want to do. So what do you guys do then?
I think, oh, go ahead.
well, what do you do in that situation? You look back at it and be like, okay, if I am getting people who love these type of videos, what can I do to improve it, but still be true to that foundation aspect
Yeah.
of the video?
Mhm.
Think about it. Think about it with a house. You're every so often you need a new roof on. You're getting residing, new windows, new doors. But what's the same all the time? The foundation.
Yeah,
So you lay that foundation and the groundwork, and you're building on that with each and every video. Someone goes, "Oh, but I like what you did here." Okay,
Mhm.
you're still on that foundation, and let's build from here. Okay, this is what I'm doing now. Okay, how can I improve this on this foundation to make it better, but
yeah.
still be on that firm foundation that way?
And I think sometimes it may be just like the differences in videos may just be dependent on the content, right? So, for
Yeah.
example, in my video, my highest viewed video was dealing with when Scream Factory came out with the Halloweens, right? It benefited because that was a time when everyone wants to hear and see about Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, so sometimes it at least what I've seen, and maybe in some other ones, is it's just kind of like what the actual content is going to dictate like the viewership and all these other things. But I think one of the important thing is kind of like when you start doing YouTube and you kind of start with like your basic format, and then sometimes you'll branch off and start something new. Like try to be creative and try to do something that you really enjoy first, because then it may
Mhm.
last. So that even if you do something else, sounds like, man, you know, I really miss you doing these.
Mhm.
Like you potentially could go back and do it without it being daunting.
Mhm.
Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
jump into something that you aren't really like. I'm not big on me doing reviews per se. So I would never jump
Right.
into reviews. I could do something similar like a recommendation and give like a small background of it. But you know, I think kind of always, even from the beginning, focus on what you really enjoy at that time. And hopefully it'll
Mhm.
carry over. So when you get those people, because it's gonna happen, people's like, man, I miss you doing these videos. If you decide to go back, it's not pulling teeth for you because you have an enjoyment to do it.
I guess just
Yeah.
stay
I mean,
true to yourself. I guess you're saying basically.
Mhm.
yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, I look at my own channel, and Jagoda was part of this the series I had started. At one point, my channel started to become more about other content creators more than it was about me, and I think that hindered my channel a lot. So that's why I started to slow things down, and I got rid of a few things. So about what was that? Maybe a year and a half ago, I did the battles. Battles was mostly about everybody else building up their channels and things like that. I had that going. I was doing the entire collection. I was reviewing other people's entire collections to also shine light on their channels. But it gave me content, and I was able to sit and watch the type of videos I like watching, and I made a video out of it. So I was doing that. And then I
Mm,
also did Spotlight, and I did 2 episodes of that, Go to Blue, My Killer Podcast. So my channel was really about just pushing other people's channels. And I think some people enjoyed it. They really liked it. They liked what I was doing. But it came to a point where I was like, this is really hindering me
Yeah.
and my channel growing, because all I'm doing is really cheerleading or pushing other people's channel instead of my own. So it's like, why do I subscribe here when he's pushing these people for me to go subscribe to these people? So I had to find that little bit of balance and pull things back and say, you know what, I gotta start focusing a bit more on my channel, because I feel like this is kind of hindering my growth.
mm. That's the way to look at it, I think. But the real question is, I think sometimes, all right, put it this way. Here's a good example. You guys may do something, it might be a one-off. I mean, it may not be nothing you want to make a series or a whole thing out of, or a channel or career, whatever you want to call it. You don't want to make a thing out of it, but you want to do it once or twice. And now it hits, or people like it. And now you're like, damn, this is all they want. Or, it feels like you're stuck here because it was good, but you just don't have the desire to do it. So I think that becomes hard because they want that, and you don't want that, and then it makes it not fun anymore, but you want to give them something, so it can be it can be hard. And some people
Definitely,
don't, they're like,
it
we
was
want
like that.
this, we don't want that.
Yeah, that's how it was with me with the collection battles. I mean, it became so popular that, like you said, it was like a coming together event every Thursday night. But it got to the point where I started feeling like all I kept hearing about me was, oh, he's a great host, and nothing else. And all I would get is message, when's the next battle? When's the next battle? And I started seeing like nobody cared about the recorded videos. All they wanted me to do was live stream a battle. So it's like, it started playing in my head like, you know, y'all not really here for me. You just want to see these battles, which is fine. I enjoy the battles, but I'm like, I'm more than just a host. My channel's more about than just a battle.
Yeah. And Cal, strategically, if someone was in that space and they're doing they did a one-off and then it like really picked up and people wanted more. I mean, strategically, you can continue to do that to bring people to your channel to watch the videos that you do like,
Mhm.
if it
Mhm.
works that way. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to kind of, move it as
Mhm.
such. But
I think D-Ray showed just now that it just depends where you're at mentally. You gotta be mentally tough to realize that you know it's not a shot on you, because they may always want that, but you got to still know, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and not let it affect you. You know, so it's tough.
Yeah.
I think it's tough. I think we have answers for it, but I think it's still nevertheless tough.
But you guys, before we move on to our second topic of the night, Jagoda Blue talked a little bit earlier about, he misses the IG lives, kind of wish those things would come back because it was a lot of fun. Our next question talks about like the state of the BlueTube community, things that you like or may dislike, or what would you like to change, bring back, or anything like that.
Wow.
hey, y'all want to keep me out this one?
No, I ain't going first.
Wow.
Hurt the community, Cal. Hurt the community.
What you mean? I'm a community guy.
Well,
All right. Oh, you go, Ben.
the state of BlueTube community, things I like or dislike, or I would like to do or change. The fact that, and I'm speaking honestly here, folks, hate me if you want after this soundbite.
Oh,
But
man, no, we don't
anyways,
hate you.
But anyways, what happened to at one point in time we were a community. Everyone was like let's take Instagram Lives for example, like Jagoda was talking about. Everyone was on there. Everyone wanted to be up there. Everyone wanted to just come in and say, hey, even they can only be on for maybe a few minutes. Hey, I'm here. Let's talk. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I gotta go. Bye. That way. Whereas now it seems to be like you're either part of a group or you're not.
High school.
I'm not necessarily saying the cliques for per se. Yes, there's people in life. There are people that you get along with better. That you just have better chemistry with. That's understandable. Such is life. Everyone has a best friend. Like, say, for example, me and D-Ray could be friends. His best friend is a friend of mine, but he's not my best friend because they share something. They have some communication thing or love of something else that draws them closer together. But you see, it was that closeness that we had. But then all of a sudden, it's like you're either buying everything day one, you're either buying all of it day one. Like, I mean, different slipcovers or everything. You're either getting it now, or if you get it later, who really cares anymore? Yeah. And see, it's not. I'm not sitting here dropping on or ragging on the groups or the cliques that are out there. I'm just saying that it gets tough to watch content from some people when they have the same 10 people all the time on their content. Like I said, it's something that if you're close to someone and you just gel together, like the four of us just talking here, we're gelling together. Because of the Instagram Lives. That's one thing, but but just doing something over and over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. And it's insane to think about how once a community is divided, and it's like let's take it this way. Cal, how many times are you ragged upon daily about still having DVDs?
I mean, just from you guys, I got the other stuff. It don't bother me.
No. But I'm saying it's like
either
you're collecting
I get what you're saying.
4Ks. You're not part of this community.
It's like, yo, we wearing Nike and y'all wearing Reebok.
Yeah. So it's like you either are spending the money paying $40, $50 for new release on 4K or Blu-ray. I know I'm exaggerating the numbers there, but or I'm buying that DVD. Maybe I'm buying the DVD because I've never seen the movie. I want to see it, and I don't want to pay that $30 for a movie. If I don't like it, I'm out that $30 and trying to resell it. You're not going to get any of that. You're not going to get a ton of that back. Whereas I could buy a DVD for like $5 to $6 and be like, oh, okay, I didn't care for this. Let me take this back. Maybe you make $1 or $2 on selling it. Okay, you've actually just done a quarter or a tenth of that price point you paid instead of trying to sell a $30 movie to recoup your losses and only getting $15 for it or $10 for it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's one of those things that it's like you either are with the times or no one wants you to be a part of anything. Yeah. And we're all forgetting that at one point in time we all started from the DVD format. And and think about it, there's a reason why we see DVDs popping up almost everywhere now. One, they're cheaper to make. These studios can do these DVDs and sell a whole bunch more of those at a cheaper cost point because it takes them less money to make than it does the Blu-rays or 4Ks. You're like, oh, they don't know their consumer base. They actually do know their consumer base. They're just not appealing to collectors. They're complete. The regular market, if you look at the numbers, and numbers don't lie, you see that the average consumer is still buying DVDs out there. And it's still a big profit margin for them. A small, let's take Blu-ray Kings, for example, with his movie that he did, Collector Questions. Do you think how much do you think that would have probably been on Blu-ray if he tried to do it, or how much that would have cost him to make that on Blu-ray as compared to his DVD that he had?
Right.
It would probably cost him out of pocket more to make that than it would be for that, and that's where I'm getting at. All these smaller studios are releasing them on DVD, not because their movies are bad, but it's just because it gets their name out there more.
Mhm.
Think about it.
More viewers.
More viewers. Think of our RLJE, for example. Yeah, some of those movies are bad, but nowadays they're coming out with Blu-rays and 4Ks, including steelbooks of their movies. Why? Because of those DVD sales that they see. Oh, people are buying our movies. Let's increase it this way. And so it's just like a domino effect that way. And that's the biggest thing, in my opinion, that's kind of dividing the community. Is like, just because I like DVDs, I go out to thrift stores and buy them, doesn't mean I'm not any different. That doesn't mean that my collection is vastly inferior than yours.
He said, "I got money too, damn it." Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, one I'll be real quick. So the thing I like most about the community, at least from the aspect of people that do create content, everybody wants to be a part of something.
Yeah.
They want to collaborate with other people. They want to be part of the live streams and things like that. So I really enjoy that, everybody just wants to come together and really be a part of something. They want to be asked to come on a live stream. The thing I would like to change is that a lot of the people don't get asked to be on live streams. I've gotten, personal messages from people like, hey, I've asked this person tons of times, can I be on their channel? They leave me on red, or they just don't get back to me or something like that. So I love hearing that passion that everybody wants to work together. They want to be on screen. They want to have a good time, but it seems like, in this personal preference, nobody has to do something on their own channel. That's up to them. It's their channel. They don't want to have certain people on. That's up to them. You can have whoever you want on your channel, but it's more fun. It feels more like a community, and more people want to be here. And it seems like the viewership goes up when you can sense that, everybody is having a good time. Everybody wants to come together, have fun, get to know each other and things like that. And I'm not saying you have to become personal with people. You can leave it right here on Instagram, on YouTube. You don't have to become personal with people. Just, having a good time. And, like I said from the beginning, that's all the collection battle was about. It was for anybody to come up, have a good time. If they wanted to, let's get together for an hour and a half, have a good time. No matter your view count, your sub count, whether you got a channel, don't have a channel, how many movies you got in your collection, it did not matter. Just come have fun. Anybody was welcome, but sometimes it just doesn't feel the same way across the board. And I think a lot of times if people really knew how passionate some of these people were that may be DMing them or, or saying things like, hey, I wish I could be part of this live stream. This is my favorite genre. This is my favorite topic, but, I'm not getting asked to come up.
Yeah.
I do wish there was a lot more of that happening, because I think it changed up the dynamic. You never know who you'll get along with until you have that conversation with them and have them on screen with you, or some type of interaction. Because like I said, the four of us, we didn't know each other.
No.
We got to know each other through communicating in IG lives or in the chat and things like that. And like I said, there's other people, hey, somebody helped inspire you to come here. Something got you into the chat, started, bringing you in. So, if you can also, pass that along to the next person, it means you just don't know. You never know what somebody's going through and how you can affect them so simply by, reaching out to them or asking them to come up or anything like that. Because there are a lot of people that sit back and be like, man, nobody ever asked me to come up.
Yeah. Community. Can I address the community real quick?
Sure, Dakota.
Can I address the community? So, one thing I like about the community is that people are still making content, right? So I like to see that, people 1 year, 2, 3 years ago are still in it. They're still collecting. They're still enjoying things. The thing is, this community, just like any other community with collecting, is there's a common interest that we all have, and we share it with each other. We try to enjoy it. The thing I don't like about it, and again, I've been out for a minute, but when I was in it, I saw it and I can see it continue. We are all grown adults. There's a lot of pettiness in the community. And these guys know all the time. I say it's just physical media. What that
Mhm.
means is, again, we have an interest, we have a passion for something, we buy it, and we show it so that other people can see it. How many times have you seen somebody's post on Instagram or something on YouTube that made you like, oh, I want that. I didn't know about this and I buy it. Like there's a common interest and passion that we all share. And at the
Yeah.
basis of it, it's physical media. So when we start adding in all this other bickering and all this other stuff, which causes the division in the community, even before the clicks occurred, it's
Mhm.
kind of like now it stales everything, right? And it's like at the end of the day, like what is the purpose of it? Why are we being petty because somebody collects DVDs, somebody collects Blu-rays, someone collects 4Ks, right? One of the things also I don't like that maybe the community needs is more of a variety of stuff. We get it. You guys know I love steelbooks. I love steelbooks, but there's people that love Blu-rays. There's people that love DVDs. There's people that love TV series, which
Yes.
never gets any love. There's
Mhm.
people
That's
that
me.
love Criterions. You know, there's a bunch of
Yeah.
things in collecting that obviously for a while has been missing the mark. And there's so many movies that, like when you have conversation with people and they're like, oh, I haven't watched it, I haven't watched it. There's so many older movies, irregardless of what is coming out on a day-to-day basis, which a lot of us, again, because it's repetitive, because everyone has it on their channel, we get tired of seeing it. Like I love, and you know, a lot of people do this, but Miranda is one of the first people that always come to mind when she puts those posts of like the older movies and old Blu-rays and DVDs. I love seeing that because it's like there's, at least for me, and you guys can tell me if you agree, one of the biggest things about my passion for collecting was the nostalgic thing of remembering these movies I used to watch.
Mhm.
And so if we're constantly getting these releases, it's cool, but I think the community needs a variety. We need to see more creativity. We need to see, you know, more movies that's just not on the surface that just came on the last month. Like, let's go back and let's create something new. That's why some of the best things were creative. When people get in their bag, try to bring something new, something fresh, you know, it hits. And, you know, yeah, it'll take time to
Mhm.
hit, but listen, let's keep the pettiness. Let's keep it to a minimum. It's physical media. Like we all should be celebrating each other. We all should be supporting each other. Like, you know, if you rock with this person, you know, and listen, I've been slipping lately, so I can take accountability for myself. But when you know someone you like is having a stream, jump on the stream, get in those comments. Like that's what it's about at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Supporting everybody so they can continue to go. There's no point for us to be arguing because, you know, let's say Cal may like Superman and I like Batman. Like, okay, me and Cal have had conversation that was very entertaining. Listen, I'm telling you. But at the end of the day,
They
it's
ain't ready.
physical media. Like we've gone
Yeah.
back and forth about whether it's physical media, whether it's sports, but at the end of the day, it's just
Michael
physical
and
media.
LeBron.
You know, it
Sorry.
shouldn't bring us to the point where I'm like, I don't like Cal anymore because he doesn't agree with what I say. Like at the end of the day, it's fun to have these debates. It's fun to have different
Mhm.
opinions because someone gonna look at me crazy for saying a hot take. Shutter Island's better than Scarface. Shout out. Others
Hey,
gonna
we
look
want to
crazy
keep
for
our
saying other
viewers.
stuff. You
Yeah.
know, so listen, I love the community. I met a lot of friends on here. You know,
See,
I talk to people
you
all the
said
time.
all that good
And
stuff. Not, oh my God.
it's
And then you say
facts.
that. See that poisons the message at the end. You can't say all
No,
that good
no,
stuff and then say I take medicine at the end. You get what I'm saying? Like it's you know
no.
nothing to
What
shout
I'm
out to
saying is that
everybody. Hmm.
I'm telling them what it is that I like this. The good of the community is that we've met so many people and we was able to keep these relationships, you
Right.
know, like without ever seeing each other in real life, like
Yeah.
face to face,
Uh huh.
but just through like a program.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you know, that is what the community is supposed to be. But when we start adding in,
Yo,
I'm not
come
even gonna
on.
take crazy shots, but when we start adding in like, you know, bickering back and forth and putting it online and stuff, like at the
Yeah.
end of the day, you know, we can squash that.
Mhm.
There's no
Yeah.
need to,
All
you
right.
know, there's no need to come after
Yeah.
somebody's
Okay.
neck. No
Uh,
pillows are needed. Shout out.
all
I'm
right. All right.
dropping
All
it.
right. All right, Dakota. You taking a lot of air out the room right now. Like I didn't even get to go yet. You're gonna make this an hour topic. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
First of all, I gotta clear my name. Ben come in here talking about Cal with the DVDs. Wait a minute. That
Hey,
is
hey,
Get
I.
a new DVD.
hey,
What
hey,
he had a point.
Cal, that's gimmick infringement. That's D-Ray's line.
Thanks.
Okay, he didn't create. I mean, it's his thing, but he ain't whatever. I ain't gonna do anything like that. But what I'm
Ain't no
saying is,
creator of that.
But wait a minute. Now wait a goddamn minute. First of all, as far as the DVDs go, I am a fan of movies and TV.
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna tell you guys real
It
quick
wasn't.
before
It wasn't meant as a
I'm no,
shot.
no, no, no. I know. But I want because they'll twist it, Ben. I know you meant
Yeah.
well. I get what you're saying, but I want them to know I love TV.
Mhm.
And if I was a format snob, which a lot of people are, if I was a format snob, TV's a wrap. They're like hardly them shows come out. I mean, we're getting a few in Blu-ray, cool, but there's so many shows it's never going to get a Blu-ray. I am a wrestling fan.
Mhm.
If you know, wrestling don't really get Blu-rays. WrestleMania is lucky to get it. And I don't care about this new shit. I like the old stuff. So you know what I mean? Like I like that, and I love horror. And you
All
know
in.
as well as I do, right. You know as well as I do, you're lucky to get some horror movies on DVD. There's so many trapped on VHS. So
Yeah.
yes, I got to clear that DVD thing up a little bit there. You know, I mean, I got some of these bum ass 4Ks that y'all. Oh, the transfer wasn't so great. You know, I got some of them. You know, but I got Blu-rays too. But I didn't want that. I don't want that to become a thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as Dakota, it's Kobe all day. It's Kobe. Now, as far as the question goes, D-Ray, can you put that question up real quick? I'll try to be brief, unlike Dakota.
I was saying
what I
something
like,
you wasn't gonna say.
nah, yeah, you gonna say it and disappear. Hold up. What's the question? Okay, what I like and what I don't like. I'll just start off with the sweetness, the honey of it. You know, they say sugar and honey, right? So I'll start off with the sweet stuff. The good stuff is it's so great to see the community growing, guys. It is
Yeah.
so cool to see. There's an influx of people. Even though we talk about you see the same 10 people, that's why it's disheartening that you see the same 10 people because there is tons of people coming in and out. Some of them stay, some of them leave, but there's a lot of them here. You know, there's people in corners that never heard of this one or that one, but they're there, and there's a whole following for them. So the community is growing, especially when we talked about earlier when it was Cool Dude or in Wet Movie One, and the community was just really just them, and it was like smaller. But this community is bigger than you think. While it's still small, you know,
Mhm.
comparing it to a gaming community or other a wrestling community or something like that, it's still a big community at the end of the day. And there's so many, and that's the beautiful part about it. It is growing. We've made friends. We've that was the beautiful part about it. But the bad part about it is not only is it about we built something here, guys. A lot of us know each other for a while. A lot of us put in more work than others, whatever the case is. You've done what you've done. You are who you are. But what I see is, and this is just a life thing, and the community is no exception. It happens here. Stop letting people tell you how to feel about people.
Mhm.
If you've been on D-Ray, if you've been on mid-level, anybody's channel, and you like them for what they do or who they are, continue to like them. If it's not personal and it deals with you, don't let somebody come and tell you how to feel about them. Don't let them get in your ear and poison your mind against these other people. That is totally unfair, and that's beyond pettiness because there's people in this community that I know for a fact that don't even know that you don't like them. And you don't like them because it's something somebody else planted in you.
Mhm.
And it's real, guys. It is that real. A lot of people don't like to think they're that way, but a lot of people, when you get to the bottom of why they don't like somebody, they honestly don't know. They don't know, or they heard something, and that's just not fair, guys. It's really not. And I'm speaking for a lot because I hear a lot of different stories. And stop letting new people come in this community who catches flight, who may be popular overnight. They had a good year, now they're one of the top people. Stop letting them take control of you and turn you against somebody you've been rocking with for 3 or 4 years. You know, stop letting them divide us, because that's a lot of this is happening. We know people have talks, and a lot of people, it's just division. And why? Like, we're not kids, guys. Like, I mean, there's some kids in this community, and it's sad because the kids in this community, I don't see causing a lot of this. It's the older people that we know better. I don't think we understand the word community, and I don't think we understand support or show love. I really don't. You know, and it's not always about, because I know, like I said earlier, you can't be everywhere at one time. You get to what you can get to. If you support somebody, you support them. But sometimes, guys, it's not about the likes. We're not crying about likes, and we're not crying about views and likes. But the thing is, some of you guys go through whoever you follow, and you just like all the way down, And then when you get to certain people, you choose not to like. So it's not about the like. What it is that action. That action shows that you like 20 people with the same movie, but when you got to that person who had the same movie you didn't like, why didn't you like that person? Because there's something there. There's a reason you didn't like it. So that reason is what hurts a lot of these people out here. And a lot of that's going on. It's high school, guys. And like, when did it get like that? Like, I mean, are we doing something so profound? Are we doing something that's so great that can't nobody do? This is materialistic stuff. We're successful because of our personalities and who we are and being genuine. But at the end of the day, the stuff we're presenting, is it really profound? What are we really doing, guys? So for us to have these attitudes towards each other and to promote this division, and a lot of y'all like it. Let's be real. A lot of y'all like it. And then you condemn it after it's over and it's settled. But you love to see it. You shared it and you went and talked about it with other people. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. I mean, if there's a fight, of course, I'm going to look at the fight, but I don't want to see you guys fight. But if you're going to fight, we're going to look. But at the same time, like, why? We're too old for this. Like, I'm seeing kids in this community, and trust me, there are kids in this community who are getting along and they're looking up to a lot of you guys, but you adults are fighting over physical media, over who's cool enough to sit at a table, over what formats and snobs, over, I see people in comments like, why do they still make DVDs? I don't understand it. Like, why are you so mad at something like that? Just don't buy them. You do know if they take the number, it's a numbers game. If they take DVDs away, the numbers drop, and as physical media as a whole, we suffer, and they'll just stop physical media. So like, why would you want to stop physical media? You buy what you want to buy. You let other people collect what they want to collect. So I just don't get that one thing. And like D-Ray said, people put in effort and they want to be a part of stuff. They do. Are we celebrities? Do we make movies? Is it so wrong to let somebody come up? Is it so wrong to give a chance to somebody?
But
like, I don't understand that. Just, it's community. We welcome, we bring people in, we get along. And of course, we're not idiots. We're not going to all be best friends and click with everybody like that. Yeah. But can we at least show the common courtesy and respect when a person comes in and he says hi in the chat and you say hi to this one, that one, you jump over him, don't say hi to him. Then the person right under him, you say hi to. What's that about, guys? Is that on purpose? Because when it happens 20 times, it can't be just a coincidence. And there's a lot of things. I'm not just speaking for me. I'm speaking for a lot of people in this community who don't have a voice or they're just tired. And it hurts the community as a whole. And then we'll be left with 10 people in the community. Like, because people, they'll just move on. And I think we're better than this. I know we're better than this. We used to be all a unit. It's cool. All right, you got groups. This group, that group, that group. Cool. But remember the word community, because that group is supposed to get together with other groups. Yeah. And beyond that, other people, and add other people, and it becomes community. You know, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. You know.
See,
but I love y'all.
Though, but
I have faith in y'all.
It does make sense. How about you, D-Ray?
He went.
Yeah, we all. I think we all hit the nail on it.
What is one thing you guys would change though?
I would change all the behavior. Okay. All that behavior.
Yeah.
I would change, and I know we can because we weren't all. A lot of us weren't always this way, and we all make mistakes. We all have bad days. Cool. We're not perfect, but guys, we know what we're doing. We see the behavior, you know. And when you see this behavior, all right. Some people don't like to get involved when other people's tearing somebody down, for instance. All right, you don't want to get involved. Cool. But at the very least, guys, we're not talking about that. We're not going to do that today. We're not going to let this guy. I'm cool with this guy or this girl. I go to his stream all the time. I'm not going to let you tear him down. He's been in this community for 5 years. You've been here for 2. You know what I mean? We're always over there. That's a good person. Whatever. Let people have their problems with each other. Don't take sides, guys. Don't. It becomes poison, guys. It really does.
And one thing I want to add to what he was saying, on the flip side of that, with the same activity, and this is, I feel like this is important in life because I know we're all different as people. When someone says something about you, or they don't let you up on a stream or something, at some point you got to stop caring. Like you have to understand that. Like, listen, if it don't happen, then that's not where you want to be in the first place. And if there's topics or there's things that you want to participate in, then one of the best things you could do is start it yourself. You know, get into some of these messages on Instagram or any other place that you may follow people and see if they're interested in having a conversation and do your own thing. Because That's the beauty of that's the beauty of social media. You don't have to wait for somebody to do it. Like every one of
True.
us that
Yeah.
collects, that wants to create content, has the ability to create something on our own. And so if
True.
you're feeling as though you're not in the ability to get in some of these spaces, then create your own space. It doesn't
True.
have to, you don't have to have 10 to 15 people. You can have 2 or 3 people on a conversation. And believe it or not, a lot of people in this community like having conversations about physical media, right?
Mhm.
And I think it'll be refreshing to get brand new people up, brand new conversation topics, brand new ideas, different perspectives. But you got to stop caring, honestly. You
Yeah.
got to stop
Mhm.
caring so much about what people may say about your collection, because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
there's always, if they want to go that route, there's always somebody out there. There's someone out there with a better collection than they do. So
Mm-hmm.
don't let none of that stuff worry. We have, our collection is specific to us. That is the beauty of
Yep.
it. Ben didn't create his collection so that me, D-Ray, and Cal can be satisfied. He created it for himself.
Really? That I created for myself and not to satisfy you guys? Okay.
No. And so the thing is that be happy with what you create, right? Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do and have fun with it. At the end of the day, that's what it is. We're
Mhm.
having fun.
That's great, Jakota. But that's great, and that's something you should live by, and you should always keep pushing forward. But at the end of the day, you take accountability of your own actions. Cool. But guys, at some point, we got to do better. We just
Yeah.
got as a people, and I know that's a little deep when I say as a people. I'm saying like just people. Period. Got to do better. But we're a community, guys. If we're going to take that name, we got to do better. We got to do better. No, we can't hold each other's hand and make people want to do stuff and make them popular and make them produce good content. No, we can't. That's on them. But we can welcome them, and
Yeah.
we can, at the very least, if we don't like the content, we can respect them. We It's called a community, and
If
we can do much better. We really can.
one thing I would change is that if knowing where some of your YouTubers live, because you can just tell because they either said where they lived or stuff like that, and they do meetups. It would be nice to get the community together to do a meetup if you haven't been to a place before that sells media and you can't get to one because you live hours away. It would be nice to get an invite from, oh, we're meeting up here. Are you available or something like this? Doing that rather than just doing it to just people. I would love to see the community get together on more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hang out, go
Right.
shopping at these stores like Second Charles, Bull Moose, Video Game Movie Dome, stuff like this. Get together, do stuff like this, and invite everyone. Yes, people may not be able to make it, but the invite was out there for the entire community.
Okay, I hear that. I hear that.
I agree.
D-Ray, we
All right.
sorry to keep you on this topic so long, but
Yeah,
Dakota went an hour, so we had to we was trying. I was
Say
trying to get
what you
mine
ain't
in
want to
as quick
say.
because we're all saying kind of the same thing, Dakota.
Yeah.
But you're killing
Yeah.
D-Ray. Yeah, you're killing D-Ray. Just guys, we're
So
not perfect. I know things happen, but we could do better, and let's do that. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So let's change the dynamic back a little bit, because I think we got away from the fun aspect of the stream. So let's take it back.
Ben came
our
in hot.
second-
Ben set the tone. He set the tone.
Our second topic of the night involves the movie theater experience.
Okay.
Past, present, future of it, because we see the writer strike is affecting things a lot. If you're really paying attention, and we're going to start seeing more, like anniversary movies going into theaters for a limited run. More stuff, as you see, Disney is finally trying to release their shows onto 4K and the nice, pretty still books. And we know part of that is because of the writer strike. I don't think they would have done it had it not happened. But let's start back maybe in our early days or even, present days. Let's talk about our movie viewing experience. If you guys can tell me maybe 1 to 3 of your most memorable movie viewing experiences.
All right. Let me see. I'll go first because Dakota, he can't be trusted going first. Let me see. Okay. First movie I was told the first movie I ever seen was Batman '89, but the first movie I remember seeing was Batman Returns. So that's a very fond memory, and it's probably why it's my favorite Batman still. But it's just there's nothing like take it how you want to take it. It's not like first time, no matter what it is, right? So, at the end of the day, I think that I have to hold that in high regard. Believe it or not, guys, Power Rangers blew my mind when it came out. The movie. So that was going back watching it. It's like, really, this is so didn't hold up as well. It's fun because it was what it was for us, but it didn't hold up. But at the time, it was an experience. It really was. I think that was a big one for me, and I think nostalgia also is a part of who you experienced with. We always talk about experience. I seen Del in chat talking about live as part of the experience. Yeah, but when you go to the theater with people, that you're going to have an experience at least one time when you went to people, whether it's bad or good. Just like I had one of them good experiences. I went to see The Dark Knight Returns, and a lot of that is shot in places that I still frequent to this day, like I see every day. So a lot of those scenes. So watching that and seeing stuff like that, and then going with my dad, and I actually went with my mom too. And I think right after that we went to see Amazing Spider-Man right after that. So, but like those experiences that made the movie even better. And sometimes we get in our own way. We think, is the movie really that good, or is it because of the theater experience that we had? So those will be the three that I can think. I don't know if they're the three greatest, but definitely two of them are. So yeah.
Man, that was long. Man, I'm gonna keep mine really quick, Cat. I'm joking. So I know it's three. I gotta have four because there's four specific ones. Back in the day, the two most memorable movie experiences was Batman Returns and Jurassic Park.
Why are you trying to steal mine? Why you got to steal mine?
Soundtrack was crazy.
Be original. Yeah.
You said 89. I said Batman Returns.
No, I said Returns. I said I was told it was 89, and then I said, but what I remember is Returns. See, like, talking all this content career. Be original.
I don't even know. So
you don't even remember.
So Cal still of a youngin', but Batman Returns was back in those days. If you was a kid, everything like.
We really gonna continue too. Like, he ain't steal my stuff. Stop stealing content.
Jurassic Park, Cal, watch it. One of the best soundtracks. I love it. So those two movies back in the day, the viewing experience as a kid was second to none. And I honestly didn't have those type of experiences from the movie until Sicario and Infinity War.
Oh, here we go.
You can hate on Infinity War.
I don't hate on Infinity. Infinity War is one of the dopest movies ever, but you just be capping.
The first 2 minutes, the Hulk almost certainly got killed. Thor got killed. Loki got killed.
Dope.
It started off crazy. Yeah. So those are my four movies that was absolutely.
Yeah, but the Sicario was a little wild, but that's your shit. I ain't gonna infringe. I'm sorry.
That was my jam.
Stop stealing mine, though. That's all I'm saying.
All right. I would have to say. I would have to say, and not a Superman movie memory viewing experience either in there. I would have to say mine were my first drive-in I ever went to. I remember it. We were visiting, like I was a kid, we were visiting friends. And we went to go see a drive-in. It was Operation Double Drop with Ray Liotta and Danny Glover. Yeah. Saw that in the theater. And I'm like going, this is an experience I'll remember. Because drive-ins are very rare now. Like, there's hardly any around and no one will kind of have that experience anymore. So, that's one. For me, the other one came a few years ago when the Dark Knight Returns came out, because a theater that I attended at the time did all three of them back to back. So you would go for Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and then The Dark Knight Rises. And they would give you this little pass. I have it hanging in my man cave in my movie room. Gave you a pass. It gave you a pass that you can be at the theater all day and just you'll be like, oh yeah, here's my ticket. Okay, you got the pass, so yeah, that's your ticket. You got like it was 10% off concessions and everything in between the movies too, so that way you were well taken care of food wise and everything. But I remember that because it was the first time I've ever been to a theater that I was able to do all three back to back like that at once. And the other experience I would have to say is when midnight showings were actually meant something.
Yep.
And you actually had people who were huge fans of it. I remember going to see Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, when it came out, and people actually dressing up and talking about, hey, the movie, do you think, actually talking about the book. before the movie came out, and still hanging out in the theater and talking about it after it was all said and done, just talking about it. Whereas now
Mhm.
it's like I have to go see this Thursday night showing because I want to be the first one out there to talk about it, or I want to see it and spoil it for everyone else. Where it's like
Mm.
when it used to be this big spectacle. Oh, we have a midnight showing, and it's not every movie that came out that would have one. It was only those big ones, like it was Star Wars, it was Lord of the Rings, it was all the superhero, all the comic book stuff, and that meant something. That made it feel like an experience because it wasn't all the time. You're getting these released early in that midnight showing, or even a day early. That's what I miss about the movie experience, and yeah.
He said the midnight showing. Y'all remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, man. That was a real good time. I
Black.
definitely remember that. That was
Mm.
actually that's part of my. I got three real quick because I know I've talked about them a few times already. But that midnight showing is something special. One of
Yeah.
the times that I did go, it was special, but it ended up not being so special. It was as bad as the Transformers movies can be, the nostalgia and me growing up loving Transformers keeps me going to see them. So I still remember going to see Part Two, Revenge of the Fallen. That was a midnight showing that we went to, and my daughter, she was very young, she was still a baby, and we ended up having to go to the midnight showing for it because we really wanted to see it because we enjoyed the first one. We took her. Luckily, she was asleep most of the time and not crying because it was a kind of a long movie for a Transformers movie. But ultimately, that movie ended up not being very good and it was long. And then at midnight showing and getting out of there after like two something, it was not the
Mm.
best experience because the movie kind of ruined the experience. But having that, seeing people lined up that late at night to see a new movie and things like that, it was a lot of fun because back then you didn't have online ticketing, so you had to go to the box office early, get your ticket. So you had to stand in line for that. Then when you would get there, you had to get there early. There was no advanced seating. You had to go stand in line outside of the theater, the room that your screening was in. So you had to be there early for that to try to get a good seat, which brings me to my second favorite viewing was the release of Independence Day.
Mm.
I had never experienced the theater quite like this. So the friend that got me into collecting movies, me, him, and his dad went to go see it. I didn't know how big of a movie it was and the impact that it was having on the theater viewing experience until that day with that long line at the box office and then outside the room to screen the movie. We got there early. We were in line. We was probably around maybe about around the 20th people standing in line. And I remember when they opened the doors, everybody just rushed in. They were hopping over the rows to get the perfect seat that they wanted. I had never experienced something like that. And I didn't follow the movie back then. So I didn't know how big it was. I just knew, it was about aliens. It's 4th of July weekend. So everybody's able to go to the movies. So that was a very good experience for me, and that's what really got me into wanting to go to the theaters very often was seeing everybody so passionate about a movie, and it ended up being a very good movie. Still holds very well to this day. And then, like Jagoda said, that number one experience, Infinity War, man. When I went to go see that, had to go see it early Thursday, 7 o'clock, the only showing. I went by myself. Man, I hadn't experienced nothing quite like that as far as a movie itself and walking out of there and I couldn't talk to nobody because I went by myself. No one else I knew had seen it. And I just had to hold everything in until somebody told me that they saw it. I couldn't say nothing because the way that ended was so unexpected for everybody. And the amount of emotions that was streaming out from people in the theater, you could hear people weeping and stuff like that. It was crazy. Like
Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
I
I'm
absolutely love that movie, and I can never forget that experience.
Infinity
I'm
War was
convinced
different.
you guys love Infinity more. It's a great movie, but I think you love it more because of the experience. I am pretty much convinced
No,
that that's why that movie's hitting
No,
harder.
no,
I
no,
I kind of
no,
disagree with
Cap.
that
Yeah.
because Endgame was sort of the same. People were still wowed throughout that movie. I wasn't until the last final fight. That's when I
Yeah, but
kind of geeked
Endgame
out on it.
is
Other than
not
that, I
is
didn't like it.
Yeah, but
and it
Endgame's
was
not
still
a
the same
really good
experience
movie.
in the theater. But I don't love
And
that movie quite much.
Cal, you gotta
I
understand. Like I said,
no, it's
with
a good
Infinity
movie.
War,
See, no,
you
Dakota's
saw
gonna
how it
make it like I'm trying to
started.
kick the movie.
No,
Like
I'm
I'm
not.
not.
What I'm saying is that at the very end, how many movies have we seen where the bad guy actually wins, like in that fashion, and then you have to
Yeah,
wait until
watch more
Endgame.
horror. We see the bad guy win.
But
But what I'm
no, but I'm
saying is,
saying
I
it's a
get it. I
different
get
type
what
of
you're
thing.
saying because I feel the same way. But I just feel like
Mhm.
that just adds more to it. Just like I just admitted that Batman Returns might have extra oomph because that's my first movie. I think an experience watch you guys watched it with a lot of people. You heard weeping, you heard cheering, you heard a lot, you heard shock. And I think you would have got a lot of shock, but I think experiencing it that way is you guys I think even self-consciously you don't realize how important and how big that was for that movie. It added so much more to it. And you could say Endgame is different, but Endgame's just not a far less superior movie than Infinity War. So it's you can't really compare it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think that. Oh yeah, and another thing you guys said about the lines, I didn't start noticing lines because like I went to see Independence Day too as well, and that's the first movie I ever fell asleep on. But it's when I went to see, when I started notice I didn't notice lines. It was a big movie. It was big here too, but I didn't never notice lines till Spider Man. The first Spider Man was sold out
Yeah, that
forever.
was crazy
People were
too.
sitting
Yep.
on the floor to watch that movie, and I've never seen nothing like that. So that's the only time. That's so what was that? Oh one. So that's the first
Mhm.
time I ever like took notice of how bad lines was.
Yeah, I would say with Infinity War though, like I think
Oh
like for me personally, after I saw it for 2 days, I was just in awe. Like
Yep.
I honestly I didn't know what to say. Not even so because most of my colleagues had already saw it, but I was just like, did I really just saw what I saw on screen? Like like it was instantly just this masterpiece from beginning to end. Like I legitimately was on the edge of my seat from the beginning of the movie until
hmm
now, and I'm like Thanos, even though he didn't have a lot of screen time, insane. My guy Ebony Maw, like he didn't have a lot, but it was thing. And I'm not a huge comic fan, but I have friends that are
hmm
comic fans, and they said that from a comic perspective, they loved Endgame more because there were so many things, so many moments, like when Cap
Yeah.
finally caught the hammer. Different things that I guess showed up in there that I didn't know because I didn't follow the
hmm
comics like that was very prevalent in Endgame. So for them, sometimes they would say that they liked Endgame better. But for me,
hmm
I liked Endgame. People are crying at
No.
the end, obviously, was going on. But
hmm
but sometimes there's just certain parts of movies that hit. Like for me, what
Yeah.
really hit on Endgame, I mean, Endgame was like, yo, Cap on the left. Like when I heard that last scene was
Yeah, but
cinematically
that's
a
a call back to the
masterpiece.
original Cap America movie. Cap on your left, on your right when he was doing that to Anthony Mackie,
It,
Falcon's character.
yeah,
So
but
it's a
it
callback.
sound but I'm saying, but outside of callback, it was an amazing scene to see all of this occur.
Yeah. But
But
what I'm saying is,
at the
I
same
think it
time,
adds
that
an
Infinity
extra
War,
because it's a
now the
callback. Like just
movie,
like certain
you
things
got to know
bring.
that though. I didn't know that.
Spoiler
Yeah, but I
alert.
That's what I'm
think that
saying.
I think the audience kind of knows that you experienced that with. You get what I'm saying? Because it was in the first movie. You don't even have to be a comic book fan. That was a movie thing. You know what I mean?
But
I don't know. Ben may feel the same way. Before we get off of this, because I don't want to kill people with comments, but before Ben might kind of understand what I'm saying because he's a comic book guy. Maybe because I am a comic book person, it doesn't. It's a great movie. It does wow me. I'm more wowed at the fact that they actually did it. Like he won at the end. He snapped him. Whatever the case, you know what happened. I'm more impressed and like wowed about that than actually seeing it because like I'm a fan. Like it didn't like okay. I think we read so many comic books. It's just like it's amazing, but it's not like that. Like I think that kind of you get what I'm trying to say. Just like Civil War. Civil War for a lot of comic book fans wasn't as good because we remember what the real Civil War in the comics was. It was like huge. In this, that was like an airport scene. You dig what I'm
well, that's
saying?
why
So it's
as a casual, I sometimes
but I'm just
am
explaining
happy
like
that I don't
why I
know.
probably look at
Yeah,
it that way.
and this is a funny conversation we can have another time too. But
Yeah.
sometimes not knowing the comics and just seeing it sometimes
Hmm
can benefit you because I know people that know the story and
For
backstories.
sure.
It's like if it don't if it's not the same, they're like,
Mhm.
they can't really
For
enjoy
sure.
it sometimes. But like me, like
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
just
yeah.
saw
That's
it,
what I'm saying. I'm probably a little jaded
it's
because I watched. I mean, I read comics. I
yeah,
get it. Kobe.
yeah.
Now, all right, go, D-Ray. Move on.
Okay, yeah,
Kobe.
let's move on. We don't want to lose them with
Pause.
the with the comic book talk, but so let's talk a little real briefly about theaters pre-COVID versus post-COVID. Like we said, pre-COVID, um numbers did start to dwindle down before even the lockdown started happening. But even before that, like we said, we seen lines, more people was inept to go into the movies, but you know, inflation starts occurring, things start costing a little bit more. Seems like movies just aren't as good anymore until kind of that the Marvel movies started coming out, and you know, it brought superhero stuff to the mainstream, and now it was cool to wear the t-shirts and stuff again. That we started to
Hmm.
see numbers go back up. People was flocking back to the theaters. There were lines,
Hmm.
but then lockdown happens, and then we see the things start opening back up. Theaters are slowly starting to see people trickle in. My theater was still really nobody there, like a few people in each screening, no matter what the movie was. But it seemed like it on my vantage point, I think Top Gun Maverick brought a fresh breath of air back to theaters because people really started getting tired of all the superhero movies that, you know, the word of mouth and something old school. Tom Cruise, a lot of people still love him. They know he's gonna put out some quality movies, but the word of mouth spread it about that movie being really good, and it was like finally something that's not superhero related, and it brought a lot of people back to the theater again. But now we're starting to see those numbers start to dwindle down. These big blockbuster movies aren't doing quite the numbers that we're expected. To me, it seems like those type of movies, we've seen Mission Impossible was supposed to do a lot better than it did, and it's not doing as good. So now it's starting to look like it's more of the family related movies that are doing good, that you can take 4 or 5 people to, that are doing the numbers now. Your Mario, your Barbie, Oppenheimer did good. I think that's word of mouth in the whole relation to Barbie coming out the same weekend
I
is what
think
helped
that's
that.
fresh too. I
Yeah,
I
and it
think
was
that's because that was different
something
and it has a
different.
big director. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're seeing like, you know, up and down numbers post COVID from pre-COVID. So just what are you guys thoughts on that? Is it the type of movie? Is it now just things are starting to go towards like the family related because prices are high and sometimes people just want to get out and, you know, just have a good time with their family? Or what do you guys think it is?
I
Well,
I'll say it in one simple word: streaming. Streaming pre-COVID wasn't necessarily a big thing, and when COVID happened, streaming became a focal point for movie release, and that's what's kind of killing the theater going experience, in my opinion, right now. Just because of the sole fact, why would I go out to the theater when I could watch the movie at home about maybe 3 weeks to a month later, or even at the same time watch a movie from the comfort of my own home? I don't have to pay $6 to $8 for popcorn, $6 to $8 for a drink, and don't have to pay like $7 to $12 to go see a movie per person in my household, when I could just sit there, sitting on the couch with drinks and popcorn, and just hit play. Oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Hit pause. I don't have to miss anything. I can just go. It was
Hmm.
the advent of streaming movies and their release from what a theater would do until that streaming comes out digitally is a very narrow window now, and it's streaming is what's ruining, in my opinion, the movie.
yeah,
Hmm.
It's
no,
the theater
I
going
agree.
experience.
I agree.
Yeah,
Like
and you
my
can get
theater,
that
so
movie
my
right away in some cases.
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know about you guys theaters. My theaters now for certain movies are somewhat back to pre-COVID, depending on obviously what the movie is. But I do think that it's the price tag, right? I think pre-COVID, people were going to the theaters and it was kind of normal to just pay those prices to go see the movies. I think I think COVID changed a lot of people's minds about a lot of things, and now
Everything.
accessibility or money is different, and so now they say, oh well, let me just sit home and watch it. But I think two things: one, in my personal opinion, the theater experience will always outbeat me streaming it at home, for me personally. And then two, I think maybe it is the movies. I honestly do, because I don't know the numbers, so I can't really tell you. But like movies like John Wick, I know this weekend you got Equalizer 4. Like those types of movies, I think may bring the crowds there because they have a popular following previously. So I think if you have those types of movies, it's a chance that you can grab some of these moviegoers to the theaters to see it and experience it in a certain way. Because there's certain movies we all want to see specifically, right?
Right.
When you have superhero movies, there's nothing like seeing it in an IMAX and hearing that sound. But if you're going to see or a 1917 or Dunkirk, things like that, it's going to be enhanced when you actually see it in a big screen. But if you're going to see some other types of movies, you can kind of skip those and be like, I'm just going to stream it at home. But ultimately, that price tag, 2 people can cost you with tickets, and it's like $50-$60, at this point. And I think that we were paying something similar before, but it was a norm. And once COVID happened and people stopped doing it, a lot of norms that we did in life just was no longer. There's like, oh, I don't need to do this no more. I don't want to do this. And so I think, like Ben said, like I think that price tag right now is really killing people.
I think people just don't care. I really do. Price I think factors into on top of it's the cherry on top, or the nail in the coffin, should I say, to I don't care. There's we're in a time. The sad thing about the strike and COVID is everything it did. But the only bright spot about it, as far as movies go, is like right now there's a strike, so they're spacing movies out. And that's what we needed. That's why a lot of our movies were successful. We didn't get all these superhero movies. We didn't get all these action movies, all these horror movies. And it's too much at one time. And it burns you out. Like, how can I sit here and say, everybody, you can't keep doing the same content and not get burnt? It's the same thing with movies. You can't put 20 superhero movies out and expect me not to. If I get through 10 of them, you're lucky without being burnt out. You get what I'm saying? So it's just, and I love superheroes. But I think people just don't care. And I think the ones that actually were successful, not only were they family, an event where you bring more people to, they were somewhat different and they were trendy. They were like an experience. Like there was a Barbie movie. Everybody's dressing up. I got to go see that. A Mario movie came out. It was good. And I think, I think Top Gun was just an anomaly. Because if it wasn't, Mission Impossible would have did well. John Wick would have did a little better. People shits on The Flash how bad it did, but every single movie except for 5 movies this year has done under expectations and poorly. And we choose to make fun or see which ones did well, and they all did bad except for those 5, and you know what the 5 are. So it's just we need spacing. I know that's sad to say, because if they can keep giving us these movies, we want them, but they're come on, guys, they're burning us out. And I think people don't care. And like, speaking for me, I'm to the point where, like you guys say, it's a price tag. I could just pay the price one time and I own the movie. I'll wait till it comes out. But at the same time, I do want to see if they come out with another Terminator movie. I'm gonna go see it, because that's one of my favorite things. If they come out with a RoboCop movie, which they are, and I'm going to go see that, like in the theater, I want to be the first to see it. If they when they do the Superman movie, I will go see it. Batman always gets me out, but at the same time, there's a nostalgia and there's a connectivity to that. They do a Freddy Krueger movie, I'll probably go see that. There's a connectivity to that, but everything in between that, I'm just like, I could wait. The movies come out 3 or 4 months. It's just, if you guys wouldn't spoil this shit, I could really wait. It's like, it's to the point we're just getting there just to avoid a spoiler. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think that's what it is.
Okay. And with that being said, I mean, that, like you just said, and Ben talked about it as well, all 3 of you guys, we're all physical media collectors. We can't wait till these things come out. We can't wait till the announcement comes out. We want to see the artwork. That's one of the biggest things going on right now, is what the artwork look like. How's the steelbook? Is there a steelbook version coming out? Well, is there a slip version coming out? How's the artwork on that? One question that I've been wondering, because sometimes I do feel like this happens. Are physical copies released too soon after being in theaters? And do you think the announcements come too far ahead of release date? Me, sometimes I feel like, geez, I don't need to buy this because I feel like I just seen this in the theater a couple weeks ago. So I'm not going to watch it again no time soon. So do I need to buy it this fast? And sometimes I feel like the announcement might come way too many months ahead. Like right now, I'm happy about it. Yeah, we're getting Terminator 1 on 4K sometime next year. We don't know the date, but next year is still 3 months away, and that could be like March, April that we're getting it. So are these announcements coming too soon? Would you rather hear it in 2024, say January, and it comes out March? Like sometimes I think it's too close to each other.
Damn. Wait a minute. We getting Terminator 1? I didn't hear that.
Yes.
I know. Yeah, I know why they do it, right? Like, I do think that like we get it too soon, but the announcements, like, I'll give you a kind of comparison. So I used to collect Hot Toys, right? Hot Toys, they would come out with their announcement like almost a year in advance because they want to build up this hype. Mm-hmm. They want people to, because a lot of times too, they want to secure pre-orders in advance to kind of gauge like what is the popularity of this. And so I think from a monetary perspective, they do that. They said, let's put this out early. Let's get them going, but I do think that for some movies, because I'm not going to lie, there's some movies I really want to come out fast because I want it, because I love that movie. But I think on average, I think they're competing against streaming, though, because streaming comes out very early.
Yes.
Right? And so I think in part they have to compete with that idea. Like, shoot, I think at least a month in advance streaming comes out, so we need to get this physical media out. And I think when it comes to physical media, it's really about when is that buzz, when is that sweet spot to where we can get people to buy it. Same thing with when you want to do a resale and something's up in price, you got to catch that buzz period. So I think they're looking at it from the perspective of let's try to catch that buzz period. But sometimes it is a little bit too much in advance.
That's
at least with the announcement.
I agree with the announcement and disagree with a little bit of what Jagoda said with that announcement too, because when you look at the Hot Toys or like the one clicks and stuff like that, these are more collector's items and aspects like that, where I understand they want the pre-orders, you secure your copy with that and everything. But the announcements, do come a little bit far, because it's like, okay, I don't have the money now to purchase this, but I do have it then. And when you go and purchase it, you're waiting months after it's released because you can't get it. Whereas back in the day, when a movie was released in theaters, there was at least a 6-month window, unless it was a very popular movie, a 6-month window, and then it was out on VHS or DVD. And I say that because I'm going from the Blockbuster standpoint. You would go into Blockbuster, it was like another mini release where you would get that movie again. There's a video out there with Matt Damon talking about this and how the Blockbuster, the rental store experience, was like another mini release for these studios. The studios would bank, okay, here's the movie in the theater. It didn't do good, but the VHS or the physical media sales are going to be through the roof. Let's re-release it 6 months later and see this. And half the time it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they make their money back from that aspect. Whereas now, most everything is not filmed on film anymore. It's filmed digitally. Mm-hmm. So that's why we're able to get it on streaming a lot faster and able to get it on disc, on physical media a lot faster, because you don't have to turn around by, okay, let's scan these film reels and make it into digital and then release it this way. And in some ways that hurts, because you don't have that hype of it coming out 6 months later. Be like, oh, I remember watching this. You guys remember watching this? Like it's like you have another mini release date set up for that. And if these movies were not about making their money back right away, they would see that this marketing strategy would work still. But like you also said, Jagoda, the streaming aspect of this movie's on every streaming service at least a month or maybe 2 weeks before the physical media release. So what's the point of the digital code in some ways? I understand you own the movie. I understand that. But what's the point in that digital code being released with those physical copies if it's already out on streaming, and that way, and they're just hurting their sales by having it out on their streaming service that early. I can understand make it digital after the physical release, because then you're like, oh, you have it here, secure your copy with the little code that we have inside of your physical release.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think what it is though is that they're trying to, like, the society we live in now, everything has to be fast. Like, people,
like,
our attention span is off. So honestly, it is. And so it's like when you see all these pre-orders coming up, all these things coming out, it's like you have to really gauge people, because we forget stuff and move on very quickly. We'll buy one week, move to next.
You just stole what I was going to say. Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
and I think that's what it is. And then a part of the digital copy, the value of it is, if you really think about it, the value of buying physical media is more valuable than a digital, because most new digital movies are $20. If you spend an additional $12, you, on most times, you get 3 formats: 4K, Blu-ray, and digital copy. And the reason why those new movie digital copies sell is because people are very impatient to wait that additional month to get the full package. If they're collectors, if they're not collectors, it makes sense. So I think it's out weird. Some of us are just like, we need it fast.
Yeah. You just went twice. He just jumped right in front of me, like, right, and then he stole what I was going to say. Like, yeah, but Ben is right. The mini release held, because movies still to this day, like Into the Spider-Verse, had it not been for the physical media sales and the streaming, how well it did on streaming, you wouldn't have got that part 2, people. So you guys seem to love part 2. So it still is a thing, and I don't know why. You know, I think it's a conspiracy, because if people are willing to spend $20 on one movie, why would you make them pay $20 to get a whole service of unlimited movies? I know it's a better deal for the consumer in a way, but it's stupid business move. It really is. But that's why I think it's a conspiracy. It doesn't make any sense. But like Dakota said, you got people's attention span is shorter. You got to strike when that iron's hot. Guys, look at when you go into any store you guys go into, why is there Halloween stuff out? It started last month. Why is there Halloween stuff out? It's the same thing, and this trickles down to everything. And they just want to get you. They just want to push it out faster, just hit the consumer faster. And then some people it's like a drug. So they're just hooking you and hooking you and hooking you. And they think by giving you that moment to breathe, you might get away. And some people do. So they just feel like they got to keep pushing this stuff out earlier and earlier and earlier so you can stay in tune with it. And they might lose you. And I think that's where the fear is. Whereas some people actually doing this is pushing them away, because they're just like, it's too much. It's just too much. I got to chill, And as far as you guys that buy day one, that's awesome. We love your videos and I love to see it day one. But at this point, we've learned that most of that stuff drops even by week 2. So like, it's almost like, why are we doing it day one? I don't know. But it's all, you can't tell a person how to spend their money or what to do. So it's if people are going to keep feeding that, information, if they're going to be excited by it, they're going to keep doing it. And it's going to get earlier and earlier pretty soon, so.
And this question that D-Ray brought up too is one of the reasons why we're in an actor's strike right now too, because a lot of them are not getting the royalties from those physical releases like they used to, because it was the mini premiere going in the theaters, because that would be in their contract. Okay, you have the premiere date here in the movie, and then here's a physical release of it, physical media. You're also getting proceeds for that too.
Right.
Whereas nowadays it's like, oh, we could just put it on a streaming service. We don't even have to pay them anything. You got your money up front. Here you go.
Right. And people love these short series, 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah.
People don't realize a show like Fresh Prince, The Nanny, The Jeffersons, all these shows that you love that were 20 episodes. Yeah, it seems a lot back then, and now it seems a lot now, but that was a career. They got paid off of that. Like, you asking a guy to come in for 3 episodes out of 8 episode series, you think he get paid as much? So it hurts. Them not getting royalties hurts, and then it doesn't come out on physical media. Yeah, and everybody, believe it or not, everybody don't have the advantage of royalties. Like, people be thinking like the third star of a movie or a TV show doesn't really get that much money, and just so think about the other person behind him. He doesn't get much money off of it, so royalties doesn't even help as much. Conan O'Brien gets what, 10 cents for The Simpsons every few months. Like, what is that? So it's just, it is what it is, I guess.
Well, all right, guys. That was a great conversation. I think we're gonna end it there for the night with episode 2 of Assembled. Um, Before we get out of here, though, I want to say thank you to the about 15 to 17 people who, sat in the chat with us and enjoyed this live stream for over
Thank
2 hours and 10 minutes now. We definitely appreciate you all being here, giving some great feedback and hitting that like button for us. So thank you for enjoying episode 2. But before we get out of here, and does anybody here on the panel got anything they would like to say about their channels or anything like that? Any last words?
Should I go first? We want to go first.
Yeah, go, Cal. We'll just go.
Okay.
Round.
All right. Yeah, like D-Ray said, thank you for being here. Like he says, I think he stole that from me. Time is something you don't get back. So we appreciate you spending it with us. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Or, as I said earlier, you can be here or somewhere else. I think that's the way it was worded. But anyway, thank you for everybody that shared us out and showed us support, who was excited to come back, who was in the first one, who came back to the second one. We appreciate you. We really do. And this is fun for us, and you guys make it even more fun. So thank you for hearing us talk about it. We would love to hear, your feedback on it. We would love to hear what you think about some of this stuff. So leave your comments and stuff like that. And as far as I got recommend 10. I don't know if you guys been checking my Instagram. I've been putting a little promo here and there. But like we discussed earlier, trying to get everybody down for the correct date has been challenging. So we're looking at next week. Not this weekend, but we're looking at next weekend. Hopefully, if everybody can confirm that they'll do it, So whenever you see the Recommend 10 recap video come out from me, and that's everybody who's in Recommend 10 will be on that recap video. Whenever you see that recap video come out, just know the live show will be coming that same weekend. So just be on the lookout for that, and more stuff to come after it.
All right. You guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, or X, because X coming at you. Okay.
I look like Wakanda right there. That's Wakanda.
X.
No, that's DX. Yeah, that's DX.
Well, no, but anyways, you can find me on all social media platforms at the Bin Buster. Yeah, I haven't made a video in over a month. There's reasons behind that I can go into if you want to talk with me. So private message me on those things or even comment on this video, and I will be glad to answer some of those questions of where I've been for this past month. But you guys can also check me out every Tuesday night on the Bloodline Entertainment Network, where I'll be reviewing a movie that just came out in theaters. So my next one I'm talking about is Equalizer 3. So I'll be talking about that on Tuesday. So, and I'll also be diving into 1 and 2 too, and how all three of them form one timeline and everything like that. And does the TV show really tie in with the movie? So the Queen Latifah-led TV show, does it really tie in with the movie? I'll even be diving into that. So check that out every Tuesday night at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern on the Bloodline Entertainment Network. We all, you like wrestling, we talk wrestling. You like sports, we also talk sports there as well too. So
Nice.
Dakota?
I'm not making content right now, but I definitely appreciate being on this stream. It's always fun. Hopefully everyone's looking forward to episode 3. And just follow everybody here. Some of these guys still making content, so make sure to support them. Make sure to put the word out there to watch these on the replay if no one's been on it. Like and comment. I think that this conversation is good. It's fresh for the community. A little something different. And let's get the buzz going for real, because this is something different. And I think that as more people see this on the replay, it'll be that kind of fresh thing that the community needs. And maybe we can start talking about things that, some other people may be interested in, So I think this is dope. I'm gonna say it. This is fire.
Yeah.
Let's get Dakota to make content again. Yeah, let's get him to do that.
I'm gonna get back. D-Ray brought the battles back, which I know we all are excited about. I know I am. So, it's only right. It's only right at some point. Because Cal gonna steal it soon. So.
What? I'm a what? Recommend 10, baby. That's all I'm saying.
Back. Recommend 10. Shout out.
All right.
All up in the video. dancing.
So again, thank you everybody for being here. All 15 of you that are still hanging in here with us 2 hours and 15 minutes into the show. We definitely appreciate it. Thanks for joining us for episode 1, episode 2. Join us next month as we present episode 3, the finale. Trilogy complete, man. It's going to be a good time. I cannot wait to do this again with these guys. Like I told them the other day, I don't watch many replays. I was at work. I listened to this thing, episode 1 from beginning to end. I really enjoyed it. Like Jagoda said, this is fire. We're getting back. It feels like we're getting back to where we were before and not just talking about packaging and artwork. We're having a full blown out conversation with each other and with the chat. And it feels like a fresh breath of air. So I really enjoyed this. I cannot wait to episode 3. I know these guys can't wait as well. So thank you once again.
Feels like the IG lives again, doesn't it, Jagoda? In a way.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Callum to go out on me. You know what I mean?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
So what does that mean?
I don't know what that means. He's a hater, yo. He's a hater. Okay.
Yeah, I am.
It's all good, Ice.
All right, everybody. Till the next time. We gone.
Peace.